Because they're only doing this because it's making... Look, make no mistake about it. I don't believe that they believe half the crap that they say. I think they know that they're lying. But it's making them money. So they know the things to say to get attention, and that attention gets them money. Their audience, yes, there's something wrong with their audience's brain. That they can hear that and give money to it and get excited over it. Because that's all they're doing. They're placating an audience.
Okay, look, sweetie.
That's all this is.
Just in case you didn't know, if you start burning crosses outside of black people's homes, I'm not going to be okay with it.
It's not a cross. I was burning a lowercase t. I hate low T. I'm a high T man. I hate low T individuals. That's why I burned a lowercase t.
You're a high tier individual.
That guy had low T, and I wanted him to know how much I dislike low T men.
Oh, testosterone.
Yes.
Man?
Okay, he's a beta, and I'm an alpha. That's why I burned a lowercase t in his yard.
Guess what? If you start burning lowercase t's in black people's yards or anyone's yard, I'm not gonna be all right with it. Okay?
So you just want the beta males to take over, huh?
I guess that's what we're gonna have to deal with.
I think that they're both good people at their core.
It's not tricky at all. She's acting like a demon.
People can have crash out moments. People can say things that they don't mean. People can say things because they want internet clout and attention. I don't know.
Projection.
I was gonna say all of that stuff that you're doing.
Self-reporting, things I'm doing. Projection.
No, I think they're both probably guilty of saying things that they don't mean for internet clout and attention. Right now, one's a little bit more fucking nasty to me than the other.
You've lost your mind.
Me. It's all about me.
They just implied that we are okay with people using CPS as harassment.
You literally just said you were okay with it.
And when other people see that he's talking about
two minutes
his
earlier.
children getting giardia from dog poop, people are quite reasonably concerned.
Is Ian okay? Did a lizard person kill him and start wearing his skin? Brother, put back on.
He's a Skrull. He's
a
Skrull. They are Marvel villains. He's a Skrull. He's been replaced. Secret Wars, guys.
Oh, God.
The not so secret online wars.
Not so secret.
So, tried to ruin Ethan's family, which WillyMacShow is about as normie as a normie can get. Yeah, no shit about politics, just a normal guy on YouTube making videos. So if the normies come to the conclusion that you might be evil for calling CPS on somebody and sending skulls to their house, I also consider myself a normie, but if you ask the people in my comment section, apparently I'm an H3 fan because my last couple videos were on H3. Forget all the other videos.
I'm sorry if you do wrong.
I mean,
and people call you out on doing said wrong things.
Well, let's forget all the...
That makes you wrong.
Let's forget all the other videos on my channel on all the other topics. There's literally no videos. This is the
first time you've ever...
Yeah, there's no videos on iDubbbz or H3 or Hassan or any of them before this drama. Like, you can go back a month or two, like, before this started, and there's nothing. But apparently I'm an H3 fan channel because I got, 5 or 6 videos on H3 that during an H3 drama. So, sure. But I would think any parent with children would hear that you're weaponizing CPS against someone and would immediately go, that person's a piece of shit. And anyone without children should look at human fucking remains being sent to someone's house and go, that's fucking crazy. Internet drama's funny and hilarious and fun to talk about.
Yep.
It's like reality TV, but it's online. So you can always just log off and whatever. It's not real. The minute shit starts showing up at someone's doorstep, it becomes too real.
Yeah.
So that line was crossed by the ones who are unironically evil. So I feel like everyone's just playing team sports politics with it.
Yeah.
Like they're using politics to excuse bad behavior. Like, well, he deserved it because Israel.
Nope.
Yeah, because of this desert war a billion miles away from us that doesn't affect them.
Hey, unless you're Hitler and you're doing shit yourself, politics doesn't mean that you deserve having CPS called on you when there's nothing, when you're not doing anything, falsely.
I mean, it's definitely politics. This is definitely team sports politics. You see it all the time on Twitter.
I know.
On Twitter, it's more. I can understand it a little bit more because at least it's politics that have to do with your government and your country.
Yeah. But this is shit that...
For 90% of the people who are invested in the Israel-Palestine shit, I'll be the first to say I know nothing about it. It's a desert war a billion miles from me that has zero impact on my life whatsoever. I'm not getting involved. But for 90% of them, they're just like me. It's a desert war, thousands of miles away from them that has nothing to do with their life and will not affect them in the slightest. Most of the people I see talking about this are white people with zero ties to Israel or Palestine. If you gave them a blank map, they couldn't correctly identify it. They're just jumping on a bandwagon. Yeah, they just want to be part of something. And you cannot convince me otherwise. But it's sad when it reaches this level that it's that we're using politics to justify real life harassment, not online shit. I don't care about the online shit. If you want to send DMs,
does it qualify as a hate crime if the only reason you're doing it is for politics?
Yeah, but you have to be able to, it has to be explicit. Yeah. Like, this is one of those, we all know what it's about, but they haven't said it. So, like they hide behind the term Zionist or whatever. Yeah, like they got all their little cheat codes. They didn't say they don't like Jews. They said they don't like Zionists. Like it's like that.
Okay.
I didn't say I don't like black people. Maybe. I just don't like the urban youth. I just don't like
the urban youth.
Yeah, use the word urban.
Maybe
it's that old trick.
Racist people throughout history and present should stop using the word Zionist because they have, like, since the Middle Ages.
Yeah,
since the Dark Age.
This is nothing
like,
new.
I don't understand why you think this is a cheat code.
This isn't new. It's a trick from an old playbook.
Yep.
But that's where we're at. That's what this is, and you cannot convince me otherwise. It's sad when they use online politics to justify the harassment of someone in real life. Harassment online is whatever. You can always just log off. Like, I don't care. Fill my DMs with KYS messages. Fill my comments with, with your little bullshit comments. Yeah. Like, you can do all that shit. I can just hit block. I can hit ignore, and that's whatever. It's not real until it's in real life. Yeah. And then when you've started harassing people in real life, I feel like you've crossed a line. Especially if you're doing it in the name of something that's fucking trivial as politics. But I call it trivial because the majority of them...
Because they don't really have a dog in this fight.
Most of them don't have a dog in this fight. And I know they think that they're making change with all their online speeches and all their protests and all that. You're not.
They just want to feel special and feel like they're part of
you
something.
might make change with protests and stuff with your government in your country because they have a reason to listen to you. No one over there has a reason to listen to you about this. No one in Israel or Palestine, no one on either side of this conflict has any reason to look at Twitter and go, what do the Americans think?
And
none of them fucking care.
Most of them don't want your support.
None of them care what you have to say. None of them are going to listen to you.
Probably.
All of your posts, all of your flags behind your usernames, all of the shit that you're doing to virtue signal, they don't give two fucks about.
Yep.
They're not. None of that shit's going to make a difference. So that's why I'm like, why are you involved in foreign politics? Because they're not looking at you for answers. They don't care. They don't care what the citizens of a country that they're never going to see has to do with it. No, like, trust me, they've got enough problems keeping up with their own citizens. They're not fucking listening to you. But anyway, take it away, WillyMac.
I'm sure there's anti-Semitic people that are attacking you guys, but they're not me. They're not Anissa. It's not Hassan.
I should go to the old city so I can get my fucking shit pushed in.
He's talking about Jews. I mean, he's not anti-Semitic, though, because they said they're not. But yeah, listen to the way he talks about Jews. I'm sorry.
Pretty sure,
I'm sorry. He's not explicitly talking about Jews. He's just talking about the place where Jews are.
I'm pretty sure that's what all races usually say.
Yeah.
It's rare you find an honest one.
No. I'm not. I don't dislike black people. I just don't like the country of Africa.
Remember what your dad said? He just don't care for them.
Yeah. It's not that I don't like them. I just don't care for them. Yeah, the many different ways to cope. Jesus. Yeah, it's pretty obvious. I can't believe it's this obvious and people excuse it.
Yep.
Like, at this point, if you're excusing shit like what he's showing Hassan
Then
doing...
I wonder about you
Yeah.
and your...
If you're not racist, you're okay with someone being racist on your team, which I would argue is just as bad, so
Just
it doesn't
as
matter.
I have explained to our, 9 and 11-year-old, who you associate with matters.
Yeah, even if you're not racist, if you're okay with the racism on your side, I'd argue that it's just as bad.
It's just as bad. It lets the world know who you are.
Yeah. Someone
Jesus
without
Christ,
principle or morals, yeah.
Big ass bear. Why are the bears and the wolves working together? I'm pretty sure that's not how they work in nature.
They dead now.
By some of the most inbred fundamentalist hicks.
It's not all of these other creators that you're attacking.
Bro, they're literally making up stories to justify falsely calling CPS.
The other house is just like covered in dog, and he has kids, and his kids like crawl into the dog. God forbid, I don't know what they do with it. They contracted a parasite.
Zero evidence
Nope.
to back up any of this. He is talking out of his ass, and her entire chat is just eating it up. Like, I don't understand. It's just wild to me. Like, you just heard some guy from a foreign country who's never been inside Ethan's house tell you what Ethan's house looks like, tell you what his baby's doing, and you heard that and went, checks out, and then decided to roll with it. Yeah, you're just looking for excuses to do, this is just wild. But yeah, it's because of politics. You're looking for excuses to attack the other side. This guy gave you one, so now, okay, well now the call to CPS is justified because now we can point at this as our proof. Yeah, like you'll just take any proof that someone gives you. It could come from fucking Alex Jones, and these people would believe it. Like if Alex Jones made a rant about
Screamed
Ethan
about
Klein,
frogs being
then-
gay in Palestine or some shit.
Yeah, but if Alex Jones made a rant about how evil Ethan is, then they'd be like, well, I never agreed with Alex Jones before, but he's right about this one. Yeah, like they would justify Alex fucking Jones, dude.
As Mike's mom once
Jesus
said
fuck.
on one of her rants, Hitler had some good ideas.
He had some good ideas. That's a Kanye quote. That's a Kanye.
Well, Mike's mother said it first.
Jesus Christ.
He used to put a tape recorder while he was mowing her lawn just to catch all the weird racist shit.
Yeah, I used to do that with my mom too. How she found a way. How my mom found a way to believe in creationism
Oh, yeah, that
and
one.
evolution at the same time.
At the same time.
She's like, it's both. I was like, how is it both? She's like,
I'll never
white
forget
people,
when you told me this.
white people were created by God, and black people evolved from monkeys. Like, oh, it's just racist.
You weren't just created by God.
We're gifts from.
You were gifts from
Yes,
God.
we are gifts from the heaven above.
Look,
You're the evolved form of a monkey. Yep, she found a way to make it both.
I don't understand how Debbie is a gift, but sure.
Okay. Or
Just
this
saying.
guy.
Or that guy.
Site that I had previously never heard of in my life called Giarda from the dog
Not saying
that is
that
all
right
over
now.
his house.
So this is not a joking matter, by the way. It can be very severe and deadly to small children. I mean, much like many other illnesses, it's very, very, very dangerous when infants get the same sicknesses that adults get. It makes sense why he doesn't care about Palestinian children.
Oh, Willie, they're gonna scream you took the chat out of context because you didn't show the chat in its original form. You cut out the relevant messages. Out of context, out of context, out of context. They love screaming that one.
When he is neglecting his own. How is this happening? How is it happening? How is this happening?
Oh, the fucking fake concerned voice, too. It's because I care.
She's not
It's
very
'cause
good
I care.
at
The
it.
fucking concerned trolling, dude.
I
It's 'cause
thought
how's
she
this
was being
happen? God,
sarcastic.
that's so fucking performative.
I thought she was being
River. Her chat like saying, oh, we're gonna call CPS, oh, someone should call CPS, is not even remotely like that. In fact, a CPS call is warranted.
Where they're calling CPS.
See, it's warranted because he said it was, so that's what they did. Yeah, somebody gave the go-ahead, and that's all they needed, just someone to tell them to do it.
Child Protective Services, to come to our house and break up our family.
You're not the biggest victim on the internet, Ethan.
Nah, apparently it's these guys.
Be mean to them. if they feel bad, if they feel harassed, honestly, great. I don't give a f. Each and every one of them. We need to be mean to these guys. We need to be assholes. They deserve it.
I love that.
What's wrong with
And
you?
those are the ones who say that they're the victims.
What's wrong with you?
Those are the ones who say that they're the victims. The ones who listen to that guy.
Yep.
Really? Really? He gives speeches like a fucking Marvel villain.
I know.
But he's the victim.
Okay. But
Like, this is, it's so wild to me that like, it's so obvious. The gaslighting is so hard, it's insulting. That's why I get so worked up over it. I was like, you're insulting my intelligence to sit here and fucking splash me with water. You're pissing on my leg and telling me it's raining. Like, fuck off, man.
yes,
This
he's
is so
insulting our
obvious.
intelligence, but
It's so
there's
obvious.
people clamoring to believe it.
It's so obvious that
Even though
like
they
you
know.
denying it either makes you retarded or yeah, like it's like it's insulting my intelligence that you think I would honestly believe that that's the good guy.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
iDubbbz is crying because him and his wife got called a cuck, but then he crazy makes Ethan for people role-playing killing his wife.
Wait, everyone! Ela Klein's in the house. Guys, she was just a secretary. She was just a secretary. Ela Klein.
Take those prisoners. Take those IDF genocidal soldiers. Where do they keep the secretaries? Secretary got...
Human skulls are getting mailed to their.
Yeah, they roleplay killing Ethan's wife. That one did it on stage. I didn't know that fucking annoying kid was Adam McIntyre or whatever. I didn't know that he did live shows, but apparently if you want to know what his live show is like, it's just him joking about murdering
that's
another
not funny.
creator.
Yeah.
I don't understand why anyone watches this kid. He is so fucking insufferable. But yeah, that live show looks horrible.
Well, I mean, it's like everything now.
For
some reason,
like
being an asshole is what makes you popular.
Yeah, it's not him joking. It's just him being an asshole. This is just bullying.
House.
Around the same time, we received 2 human
there's your human
skulls in the
skulls.
mail at our home, which led us to having a very pleasant interview with the FBI. Things have progressed well past the point of that's just what the internet does.
I'm done being nice to Ethan. I gave it a chance. My sincerity and my empathy in that last video was real.
Hassan's fans and orbiters are retweeting people saying, I'd love to swing their kid by the legs into an oak tree over and over again.
Maybe
that's
if
what the
Ethan's able to
Nazis
get
did,
some
right?
help, maybe if he stopped.
Yes. They'll literally quote things that Nazis actually did.
They took
And then tell
babies,
you that you're the Nazi.
and exactly
That is what Nazis did.
and
They
I'm
grabbed babies by
sorry.
the legs and swung them into oak trees.
before some chode wants to sit here and say, you don't know what you're talking about. Blah, 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 blah. I studied this shit. I worked at a place where I had to know this shit.
Yeah, but you're not Jewish, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter apparently. But no, that's shit the Nazis did. They would literally take babies, swing them by the legs, and bash
grab them
their
by
heads.
their legs and swing them up against. Yeah, like it was reported on. Like it's
Yeah, like I
like
do
you don't have
not
to be
understand
you don't have to be
why-
Jewish to know that it's a well-known thing. It's documented. That's what they're referencing.
Yeah.
They're referencing Nazis killing
But because
Jewish
y'all
babies
are-
by swinging them into trees by their legs.
Like I don't get any of
Yes,
it. Like,
they're openly racist against
like you're
Jewish
being
people.
openly racist, and
And
it's
then act
making
like
me
you're-
feel some kind of way as a brown person.
And then act like you're the bad guy when you point it out.
Exactly.
Like have you seen the comments
Like,
on
dude,
that video?
I'm not new. This is not my first rodeo. I grew up in a place in the 80s where I was the only cookie in that cream.
Just look at the comment section on my YouTube videos. Like,
I know.
They're just open about it,
tried not to
they're openly using Nazi propaganda as insults, and then look at you like you're crazy when you point it out. Like it is
My
textbook
time.
gaslighting. Textbook gaslighting.
My time working at that place, at that museum, I learned very much. If somebody's looking at Jewish people askance, they're probably looking at me askance as well. So,
Oh, of course.
yeah, no.
If you're racist against one group,
You're probably racist
usually
against them all.
Yeah,
There's-
you're
I'm sure
usually
there's
racist
different
against.
tiers, but you know.
Yeah, they will do tier lists, but you're
Yeah.
usually racist against multiple, if not
Yeah.
all. Yeah, it's usually not a one and done kind of thing.
I mean, it's like your mom told you,
It's
right?
It's not like the KKK doesn't just not like black people.
Yeah,
There's a
I mean,
list,
yeah,
okay?
there's a
It's
list.
never one and done.
No.
Stops harassing other creators. Maybe if he does these things, eventually he'll find peace.
All of this is happening and somehow Ethan is labeled the harasser. How can you not see what's going on? They're doxing him and trying to take away his kids for mild political differences. That's why this video is sponsored by Aura. In a topic where people's personal information is being maliciously shared and
skip
posted
his ad.
online, it's an important reminder that people like
Since
you
we're
and
watching
me
the
are
video.
just as vulnerable. Data brokers have websites where anyone could buy anyone else's personal information for just a few bucks. So it's important that you take the time to protect yourself. I do using Aura. Aura identifies brokers on your behalf and automatically submits opt-out requests that would otherwise be impossible to keep up with on your own. Seriously, just Google your name. You will see your address, phone numbers, family members popping up on all of these white pages websites. But if you give Aura just a bit of your personal information, after a few weeks, all of that will start to be taken down. You'll get less spam emails, less spam calls on your phone. It is genuinely life-changing. And Aura will continuously monitor the dark web and alert you if your personal information was exposed. You won't leave the back door to your house open at night, so why do it online? Plus, they give you up to $5 million of identity theft insurance should the worst case scenario happen. So stop the spam calls and protect yourself online by going to aura.com/WillyMac to start your 14-day free trial. Thank you, Aura, for sponsoring this video.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.
This drama stems from Ethan and Hassan's disagreements on Israel-Palestine. Now you
Yeah. Like remember the inciting incident that started this whole thing. This all started over a disagreement on their podcast over Israel and Palestine. So you cannot tell me this all isn't just politics, that this isn't all politically motivated bullshit. That is exactly what it is. It all started because of a disagreement over politics. It could not be more obvious.
might think Ethan must be super far right or something. No, they agree on 95% of things.
Do you believe that Israel...
Yeah, they had one disagreement.
Yeah.
They agree on
And-
95% of
and
everything
they went
else.
scorched earth, apparently.
And and they're going, you're either all in or you're the enemy. That's the mentality
Jesus,
here.
with friends
You're-
like this.
Like that's the mentality. I'm sorry for those people screaming about how cult like Ethan's fan base is. That's literally how cults work.
Yeah.
You either drink the Kool-Aid and you're all in, or you've got to go. There is no in between. There is no, well, we agree on 95% of this stuff, but I don't agree with the cult leader on this one thing. Nope.
Yeah,
you're
can't
either
speak
all
out against
in.
the cult leader.
You're either all in or you got to fucking go. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Is committing a genocide in Gaza.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
This
see,
is
they
a
agree on most
disagreement
stuff.
that you and I have.
No, I agree with
on this
you.
front.
I agree with you. If you want to add that, like the genesis of Zionism included, you know, the displacement and you know, the ravaging of the culture that existed there, then I would agree with you.
He even cried for Palestinians getting killed, relating to being a new dad.
As a father, it's even hard to talk about. This dude was holding his infant. It was like a year old. He was like patting her on the back and
when you
saying
have
like
kids,
his
shit
final
like that
goodbye.
affects
It
you.
was, didn't expect to get emotional.
Yeah, this shit doesn't affect them because they don't have
Because
children.
they don't have children.
Because they're
It's like
they're a
that-
bunch of childless people obsessed with politics about a country that they're not in.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's like that clip of The Office where Pam's like, I used to laugh at this, but now all I think is, that was somebody's baby.
Yes, that was. Yeah, exactly.
Emotional about that, but like I'm a new dad and that shit
Yeah.
really fucks me up.
Yeah, this wasn't good enough
Yeah,
because
it will.
Anissa is 50% Irish and 50% Lebanese and grew up in Canada, so she can tap into empathy that Ethan can't comprehend.
I'll say it for anyone who doesn't know. Anissa is half Lebanese and half Irish. For anyone unfamiliar, the Irish have been on the receiving end of a lot of oppression and genocide. On the part of the Lebanese, they've received a lot of oppression and attacks from the IDF. So Anissa is very well familiar with the propaganda and the
Yeah, see, she knows just as much about this as you do. She's Irish. Look at how persecuted they are compared to the Jews. See,
Yep.
this is the political equivalent of, no, I have a black friend.
Yep, I have a black friend. What's your dad say?
coming out of Israel.
Terrible as the Holocaust was, obviously it was
Don't say something
horrendous, and how
stupid.
disgusting the doctor was that did the experiments on, did it on Jewish people. They found a couple of really groundbreaking discoveries through that experimentation.
Yeah, she prefers that Nazi
She's not
propaganda.
wrong.
I am also half Irish, so that makes...
She's wrong. There is no evidence that those experiments ever led to anything. That is a myth.
So
that is a myth. They've looked into it.
The only thing that they kind of say, well, yeah, we kind of, and it wasn't that this was something that we wouldn't have found out anyway.
No, they didn't find out anything new.
They didn't find out anything new. Exactly.
This idea that their experiments are justified. This is an alt-right neo-Nazi talking point that they used to justify. Well, it's not all bad. The bad things. No, they didn't.
I mean, it's bad.
They were just torturing people.
Yeah.
They called them experiments. They were just tortured. They didn't learn anything scientifically new at all.
The
This
only
is just
thing
a lie.
that was kind of touched on is about pressure, about the effect of pressure on human beings. And once again,
which is because they tortured people by crushing them. Yeah.
Yes, if you've
again, it's just justifying torture. That's all they were doing.
Yeah, it's torturous. Like I have a problem flying for some reason. My ears, and it is painful. And you're talking to someone who did not find
nothing
painful.
the Nazis did expose any of that or help you with any of that. That is just a lie.
That is not something that changed. No. We already knew pressure bad, but yeah, that's about the only thing that can even come close, I think.
And not to mention all things in the Middle East, unlike Hassan, who is 0% Irish. Ian does this appeal to authority to make Ethan seem like an idiot, but the authority he's appealing to is Hassan.
I would say that Hassan was very well equipped to talk about that topic. He's just got done capturing a massive progressive audience who are...
Yeah, that's right. He's the authority. The guy who doesn't live there, who talks about it online, doesn't date anyone who lives there and has no ties to it. Not the guy who... has family there and is related to, and his wife served in that military not by choice. She was forced to. Yeah.
I just want to say he is doing a fantastic job of licking around that hole.
Yep, he is. He's clout chasing pretty fucking hard here.
Yep.
Are very politically savvy. They follow Hassan. Hassan is strictly a political streamer. So this is something they're very key.
Except for when he's watching Hell's Kitchen or covering drama or the many other things that he does on his stream that aren't politics. But yes, strictly a political streamer.
Into.
I have dozens of videos documenting how this dude will blatantly lie and make up conspiracies when covering topics or arguing with people. But we don't even have to reference those videos because another day has passed, and that means Hassan has told a whole new set of lies. So I just want to give you a sample of just how dishonest this guy is. Ethan talks about Jewish heritage in the Middle East. Hassan then ignores that and argues against something Ethan didn't even say.
Hassan attempts to deny Jewish heritage in the Middle East. It characterizes them not as indigenous, but as white.
Yeah, that's his tactic. You'll see him do it a lot, is when he doesn't have an argument against something, he'll start arguing against things you didn't say, and and just try to confuse you. It's more to confuse the audience, to be like, oh, is that what they're talking about? Like he's banking on the fact that his audience is stupid and they can't keep up with the conversation, so he's trying to derail, and sadly it seems to be working for him. Yeah.
Colonizers. This is
the Israeli heritage in the Middle East is now tarnished by... Well, first of all, Israeli heritage in the Middle East. What the f*** is Israeli heritage in the Middle East? That doesn't exist. Shut the f*** up.
He didn't say Israeli heritage. He said Jewish.
Yeah, that's not even what he's talking about. But sure. Yeah, he swaps out words and tries to make it sound like he's talking about something he's not.
Heritage.
Talking about a 76-year process, okay? You can't really call that heritage in the Middle East, okay? But as far as Jewish heritage in the Middle East, that's valid. You can talk about individually Arab Jews and whatnot, but that's not what you're talking about. You're playing fast and loose, making this dangerous conflation between Judaism and Zionism once again, over and over and over and over again.
You're the one doing that.
Hassan is denying Israeli heritage in the Middle East.
Yeah, and most of the stuff they say is projection. Like when the people come in my comments and start talking about how Ethan's audience is a cult. Okay, well that's projection.
Yep.
Oh, is this what a H3 fan is like? Okay, well that's projection.
Yep.
Yeah, they 90% of what they say is going to be projection because they don't have any real arguments at all. And then anytime I'm in my comments or anytime I'm talking to one of those people, like the debate I had with the other one, where I try to push them on any actual facts or try to get them to prove anything they've said, it's nothing. It's all feels and vibes based shit.
Yep.
The Israeli heritage in the Middle East, you know what that is? Death and destruction, genocide and apartheid. That's the only thing that Israeli heritage is in the Middle East. If you're talking about Jewish heritage in the Middle East, that's a little different, of course.
That's literally what he's talking about. Ethan won the argument without even being there. Assange chat finally corrects him for fundamentally misunderstanding Ethan's point, but it doesn't stop him from declaring victory in this imaginary conversation.
Oh, he didn't say Israeli heritage in the Middle East. He said Jewish heritage in the Middle East. My bad. Well, let me tell you, Jewish heritage in the Middle East is not Israeli heritage, okay? So you can't talk about Israel while talking about Jewish heritage in the Middle East. So my point...
What?
Yeah, he's... Okay.
Still stands.
His ego is out of control. Hassan makes up in the debate with Ethan that Iraq gave a right to return for Jewish Arabs after they were kicked out.
Iraqi Jews can go back to their home tomorrow. The Egyptian Jews can go back to their homes tomorrow.
Absolutely.
That is insane. You are fucking out of your mind.
Yes, they can.
Okay,
they
how? Tell me how.
Can.
How did
they
the Jews go back to
They
their...
don't want to, and I understand why they wouldn't want to, because America fucking
they want
invaded
to.
and destroyed Iraq.
Why
but
would
yes, they could.
Yeah, answer the how. Yeah, when you try to push him on a specific, then
Yeah.
Hassan's going to gish up and start arguing. Okay.
Lonerbox immediately pointed out that Iraq return law specifically excludes Jews. He can't even tell the truth about the pop he's drinking.
Hold on, what are you drinking?
It's a Dr. Pepper cream
Isn't that...
soda.
who owns that?
I don't know, but it's not on the BDS,
Are you
national
sure?
BDS list.
We'll double check.
Yes, I'm 100% sure.
Hassan is so incompetent, he came into a single Google search that shows that the owner of Dr. Pepper is a staunch Zionist. The point of this isn't that Israel is in the right or all Palestinians are bad. It's to show that he will confidently lie if it makes him look better in the moment. He didn't know about any of these things, yet he lies to try and act like he's in the right on all of them. It's effortless for him. And it's because he doesn't care about the truth. All he does is anti-West propaganda. It's his brand.
Just like I do propaganda. I'm a propaganda.
Yep, everything you need to know about Hassan or his politics always boil down to America bad.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that his wealth and his success were only
from
possible
America.
because he's in America.
Yeah.
But okay.
Well, no. For the record.
And when you call him out on it, he doesn't correct the record. No, he molds and hides behind the dead bodies of Palestinians to avoid accountability.
I will never forget these monstrous pieces of for looking at a situation like the one happening, the one unfolding in Gaza, and choosing to never say anything about it, only to then make these drama videos to call out the people who call out the Israeli government. It is
so brave. So
God,
brave.
you're such a piece of shit.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children? This is all virtue signaling.
Yes.
disgusting.
Nobody cares that you criticize Israel. It's that you're making stuff up. He will then slander people for calling him out, repeating that Lonerbox and Destiny were paid by Israel to go to the West Bank. The account that made the claim admits to making it up. Doesn't matter to Hassan, still
So the account you quote admits to making it up, and they were just trolling. And you double down.
And you
like
said,
you fact checks nothing. Just that's what they do. Just like they didn't fact check the poop before they called CPS. He doesn't fact check any of that. They learned it from watching you, Dad.
Reports the lie.
Also, I went on a paid trip to Israel, and that's not weird. It's not weird that I went on a paid trip to Israel.
These guys spent their own money to do on-the-ground journalism in the West Bank, recorded and covered how the IDF burnt down fruit markets of civilians, interviewed tons of people. Well, they're Israeli operatives because they don't agree with every single thing that Hassan says. Hassan goes on vacation to France, Japan, Australia, all over the course of the war, and then reads Twitter for his research. Yet he claims he's doing the important journalism.
But if it's between...
Yeah, he's doing... Not the guys who went there to interview people. No. They're operatives. I'm doing the important work. I'm the guy who hasn't been there. You should listen to me.
You know, he said some real milk curdling stuff.
Oh, he's just getting started, baby.
And I want to know, you know, since we have someone who likes to do some of the same things running the country, and they're kicking people out of the country that say things that they don't like, why is he still here?
Oh, he has enough money. He's good for the economy. They only want the poors. Yeah.
Me going live and giving you 10 hours of on the ground, 10 hours of reporting from the ground at a critical moment, at a critical time, versus not going live that day just so I can go on Piers Morgan and fucking yell at him. I think it's selfish of me to take the Piers Morgan route.
On the ground, dude's either in his hotel suite or the 3rd floor of his LA mansion. When told that he should
Yeah, the guys who are actually in the West Bank filming it and talking to people, they're not on the ground, they're operatives. I'm the on the ground journalist
Yelling
as
at
I
Piers
go
Morgan.
as I yell at Piers Morgan from my mansion, or I go to Japan or many of the other countries that aren't Israel or
Did
Palestine.
he even really yell at him? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Depends on how you define yell, I guess.
Yeah. He seems.
My definition
he
of yell
seems
is
like a Piers Morgan kind of guy.
my definition of yell is a lot different than other people's, so I get that. People think I'm yelling when I'm not,
Yeah,
but I mean
true.
that's just the way my family talks. So
Yeah.
when I hear people just raising their voice, I'm like, they're not yelling.
and
yet.
you get accused
Yeah.
of yelling.
Like
and-
there has to be an emotion behind it for me to think that you're yelling. If you just raise your voice, then I'm like, this is just a guy that wants to be heard. I'm like,
He's just
Yeah.
looking for attention.
yeah. Like I don't read it the same way that normal people do. But then again, I guess
Yeah.
I'm not exposed to anger and yelling the same way that normal people are.
No,
So I'm not a good canary in the coal mine for that.
go to Israel, Hassan says he can't because it would be too dangerous.
That's your argument. You got it. You can enter Israel. What's more to say? Brother, I am not going to Nazi Germany, okay? I hope you understand this. Brother, I'm not going to Israel so you can f***ing execute me, okay? Stop.
Yeah, he's scared to go there, which should
I mean,
tell you something.
Should
but-
tell you something,
Okay,
yeah.
but yeah, he's scared to go there. But these guys who are actually risking their lives and going there and doing the on the ground journalism, they're the ones that he doesn't like and that we shouldn't listen to. We should listen to this guy sitting in his mansion screaming into a microphone. He's obviously the one who knows what's up.
Demanding that I go to Israel. Stop demanding that I go to Nazi Germany.
He was invited to do actual journalism in Gaza, but wouldn't because they couldn't guarantee his safety.
The thinking about going to Gaza thing is also kind of stupid because I was invited by literal f***ing journalists that work in Gaza. Okay? And I unfortunately most likely will not be able to go because the people that I did talk to.
I'm scared because I'm scared. That's how that sentence should end.
grandfather fought in World War II. This reason, that reason, every reason in the book.
Yeah, because I'm scared.
I'm allergic.
I have a peanut allergy. So
I have an allergy to sand.
It's coarse and it gets everywhere.
It gets everywhere. Oh.
Said that they could not give me security assurances that Israel would not f***ing kill me or anyone really.
How does he think on the ground journalism works? There's a danger to it. That's why it's called on the ground. Brandon Buckingham went to Lebanon when Israel was bombing them. Places he was at were bombed the next day. By the time he finished the video, some of the people he was with were now dead. But you know, Hassan, the real journalist, thinks reading Twitter is reporting from the ground. iDubbbz analysis.
I would say that Hassan was very well equipped to talk about that topic. They follow Hassan. Hassan is strictly a political streamer.
Like, God damn, man.
Got a nugget there.
So this is something they're very keyed into.
The only way you would think this is if you're a Hassan fan.
I'm more extreme than Ian, where I'm like pretty anti-capitalist. I hate landlords. I hate the system that we're in.
My understanding is that the property owners who have properties there choose just not to rent it at all.
Yeah, kill
As a
them.
result.
Kill those motherfuckers in a video game. Sorry. Holy shit. Murder those motherfuckers in the street. Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods, dude.
Whoa, Ian's about to get cucked live.
Is there anything you want to promote while you're here? I don't know.
Creator Clash 2. Give us money for charity next year.
All right, Creator Clash.
Just give
Nah,
your
I'm
money
good.
directly to the charity.
Yeah, no.
Don't
I'm
trust
good.
them with your money.
Clash 2, guys.
They raised $0 from Creator Clash 2. Even when Ian describes Hassan's America deserved 9/11 moment, he makes it sound so much more nuanced and sophisticated than it actually was. An anger-induced crash out.
America deserved 9/11, dude.
I'm saying it.
That is someone who is extremely frustrated and passionate about a particular topic. In this case, American imperialism and terrorism. You could have looked into that. You could have talked to Hassan.
There were 3 words in that sentence he can't define.
A little bit more and found out what his international politics opinions are. But you wouldn't even need to do that. You can look at it online.
If you look at it online, Hassan crashed out because Dan Crenshaw mentioned that military bases are an important part of national and global security.
You're not the only one that's told me this, and particularly not the only one that's told me this that has a military background.
Dan Crenshaw, someone who is a soldier who lost his eye as a prisoner of war.
Yeah, dude with the eye patch.
Yeah, he's a hero, but not to Hassan.
Saying it's virtually impossible to prevent any of this stuff without having bases over there.
That's 100% right. Yeah, I mean, and you need that relationship with the host nation, of course, that you want to partner with, and that's generally what we do, especially in the special operations community.
Hassan's academic response was to say that Dan deserved to be raped by soldiers.
What the f is wrong with this dude? Didn't he go to war and like literally lose his eye because some mujahideen, a brave soldier, f***ed his eye hole with their dick? Isn't that how he lost his dumbass eye? Because he got his eye hole f***ed by a brave soldier? America deserves.
That's right. He just called the enemies the brave soldiers, not the American who was fighting them and lost his eye.
Why is he
not the
still
prisoner
here?
of war.
I
No,
don't
no.
understand.
The brave soldier is the guy on the other side who took an American and raped their eye hole. That's the brave soldier to him.
Someone needs to rape his pie hole. Maybe he would
Deserve 9/11, dude. We
America
totally
deserved
brought it on
9/11,
ourselves, dude. Holy shit.
And what's funny is if Hassan just played 20 more seconds of the video, Dan would have acknowledged Hassan's frustrations.
Again, I'm not. I think it is reactionary to just assume that we have bad intentions all the time and that everything is America's fault. I hear that constantly, mostly coming from the left, but that isolationist sentiment certainly comes from the right as well. And it's a reaction. It's a reaction to the Iraq War and some of the mistakes we made there. These matters are complex, and they deserve complex reasoning and analysis and a little nuanced understanding. And I just think that's how we should look at it. We don't say that we're always right. That's not what I'm saying.
When confronted by his uncle on the Young Turks, Hassan backpedals, blaming it on English being his second language.
But you understand now, and not just now, but you understood fairly soon after you said it, that saying Americans deserve 9/11 is a completely different statement and one that's wrong.
No, I didn't say Americans deserve 9/11.
That guy's his uncle, by the way.
I know.
Okay.
When I said America deserves.
Is this truly his second language? Because he doesn't talk like it's his second language. He talks like he's pretty well versed in it, even if it is a second language.
I don't know how long it's been since he was actually in Turkey.
Yeah, like this seems like a.
He's white when it serves his
purpose. There you go.
He's from Turkey when he needs to be from Turkey. So it's hard to tell. Like I don't believe.
I know the type.
I don't believe most of the stuff that comes out of his. Yeah. He talks out his ass for most of the stuff that comes out of his mouth.
Deserves 9/11,
right, but that's
and
still
in that
wrong.
Moment, well, maybe you can chalk it up to English being my second language or whatever you want to chalk it up to.
This wasn't a thoughtful commentary. It's him having an emotional outburst instead of engaging with why Dan is wrong. Maybe he is. I don't know. And then avoiding accountability when he gets criticized. He does this with everybody when the conversation gets slightly complex. I would love to chalk all this up to Ian just not knowing what he's talking about, but it's much more malicious than that. Ian is leaving out context on purpose.
Just got done capturing a massive progressive audience.
This is called a lie by omission, in case you guys want to know why they're being called liars. And then you go, well, what's the lie? What did he say that was a lie? It's what he didn't say. It's called a lie by omission. You're leaving out context in order to make it look like it's one way when it's actually another. That's just as malicious as actually just lying and claiming it's a different way. For those of you in my comments who are going to start screaming about how, well, what did he say that was wrong? He didn't say anything. That's the problem.
Yep.
lied by omission. He left out things.
Left out information.
Who are very politically savvy. They follow Hassan.
The word of the day is empathy.
I think only in these past couple of years have I gained the ability empathy. And I'm very...
That's right, he learned empathy at the ripe old age of 32.
Excuse me. And did no one call out that this is a sign of something far more serious.
To learn empathy at 32.
Yeah.
People are allowed to grow and change. Sorry, I'm quoting my comments again.
No. If
you're learning basic human,
just
like if you're learning
basic
human skills
that they teach you in preschool,
yeah, like you don't even need to be taught. That should be just like an innate thing.
it's an innate thing.
If
to
you're
be
learning
honest.
things that you should be born with at the age of 32, see a therapist.
You're a fucking
The
psychopath.
the problem is
you.
Very ashamed.
That's not growing. That's not changing. That's acknowledging a problem.
Why does he have so much hair here and then he doesn't have any?
Because he shaved his. All right, so after they lost 200, it's not that he didn't make any money for charity during Creator Clash 2. Creator Clash 2 ended $250,000 in the red. He lost $250,000. So in order to try to make money for charity, because he promised these charities all this money, and then he lost all that money. So in order to try to get that money, he did a charity live stream where if he reached certain goals, he would do certain things, like squirt ketchup down his throat or paint his fingernails, and one of them was shave his head.
Those aren't good things.
Yeah, it
You
was
looking like a cancer patient isn't going to make me want to donate to you.
well until you hold a swastika sword, and then you look like a white
And then
supremacist.
you look like a white supremacist.
Yeah, and then you look like a neo-Nazi. But
he
he really didn't
still
think this.
wouldn't donate for
He has
that.
thought none of this through. I'm supposed to either believe that one of two things happened. Either he's super intelligent, he knows what he's talking about, in which case he is a neo-Nazi and he thought all of this through and it's
He thought
intentional,
it through.
or he's an idiot. Like it's one of the two.
I'm
It's
gonna go with
probably
number two.
it's probably the second one. I believe he's an idiot.
To admit that, it sounds really pathetic to say at the age of 32 I've acquired empathy.
It is.
It's
understand
not
that.
It is.
It is
Confuses
troubling.
me a bit. You see, when Ethan told a story about how CPS was falsely called because he talked about his kids getting sick, I felt bad for Ethan. Ian felt bad for the accusers.
I just can't help myself.
Yeah, that's how his empathy worked.
I was gonna
he
say,
felt bad for
hold
the
on.
other people.
Yeah, isn't
That's
that
that's like hearing about the Holocaust and saying I have empathy.
those Nazis.
Those poor soldiers were forced to torture people. Like it was their job. I feel bad for them.
I mean, Dr. Mengele, he had
That's
to
yeah.
do all those
That's feeling bad.
experiments.
I mean, technically it is empathy, but you're having it for the wrong side.
Like, that is, once again, troubling.
But
That's where your empathy is going.
Because it's not real empathy. It's anything
It's
to
fake.
justify
Yes,
this.
I know.
That's all this shit is. It's transparent and obvious, but they'll gaslight you into believing that you're crazy for noticing.
feel for other people's pain and suffering now.
Not once in the initial Content Cop video did Ian mention that CPS was falsely called on Ethan and Gila. It makes the entire video horribly dishonest because it is the catalyst for this entire drama. If you watch the Content Cop, you would think that Ethan was dragging iDubbbz into a drama that he started for no reason.
And it's all culminated, at least for my story, in Ethan burning bridges with people until he burned the bridge with me. Since Ethan and Hassan's falling out, I've been keeping to myself mostly. I don't have many nice things to say. Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help, maybe if he stops harassing other creators.
The
maybe if he-
concern trolling drives me insane.
Yeah.
You need to get help. Oh, I'm just trying to help.
It's always the person saying that
Oh
needs
my God.
to get help.
Yeah, I get that in my comments too. Like, you need to get some help, buddy. Yeah, like they just
You
all
need
they do
Jesus.
is they parrot what these guys do.
Yeah,
it's like they have no brain of their own. They just follow the leader here.
Yep.
Concern trolling is what they were told to do, so it's what they do. They think what they're told to think. They act how they're told to act. No thoughts of their fucking own.
If he does these things, eventually he'll find peace and we can rekindle our friendship.
These other creators are Frogan, who's Hassan's mod, and repeatedly would write that Ethan hates Arab for not supporting the October 7th terrorist attacks. On October 7th, she would write, leftists preach and foam at the mouth at the thought of revolution happening in America. But as soon as it happens in the Middle East, what they're doing is wrong. Ethan is apparently a racist for not supporting or calling for terrorist attacks. What else do you call this? Denims would argue that Israelis who do mandatory service should get Nuremberg trial, which was the execution of the 21 worst worst Nazis in World War II. Ethan's wife did mandatory service as a secretary.
Why on earth would you think he would think otherwise? I mean, that's like you thinking fish
Again, it's all pretty blatant.
Are fine with being eaten. Like, I don't understand why.
Well, that's why God put them here.
Huh?
That's why God put the fish here, to be eaten. Yeah,
is there something wrong with y'all's brains?
I think that they're all very conscious of what they're doing. I think
sure
they all know what they're doing. Their audience's brain, yes, because they're only doing this because it's making. Look, make no mistake about it. I don't believe that they believe half the crap that they say. I think they know that they're lying, but it's making them money. So they know the things to say to get attention, and that attention gets them money. Their audience, yes, there's something wrong with their audience's brain, that they can hear that and give money to it and get excited over it, because that's all they're doing. They're placating an audience.
Okay, look, sweetie,
that's all this is.
Just in case you didn't know, if you start burning crosses outside of black people's homes, I'm not going to be okay with it.
It's not a cross. I was burning a lowercase t. I hate low T. I'm a high T man. I hate low T individuals. That's why I burned a lowercase t.
You're a high tier individual.
That guy had low T, and I wanted him to know how much I dislike low T men.
Low testosterone.
Yes. Okay, he's a beta, and I'm an alpha. That's why I burned a lowercase t in his yard.
Guess what? If you start burning lowercase t's in black people's yards or anyone's yard, I'm not gonna be all right with it. Okay.
So you just want the beta males to take over, huh?
I guess that's what we're gonna have to deal with. That's a non-starter for me.
That's what's wrong with this country.
Yet Gila is apparently the worst of the worst, according to Denham.
Personally not a fan of I had to do what I was forced to do. And I feel like you start getting really close to like Nuremberg trial type shit there.
She'd hype up the guy who advocated for and jokingly takes credit for calling CPS.
Lets his dogs shit all over his mansion, and he just leaves the shit on the floor, something that is probably related to the fact that his former housekeeper is suing him for a number of different reasons. So I would assume he doesn't actually have a housekeeper anymore, or perhaps he lost his extra housekeeper.
His housekeeper's suing him for one very specific reason, just so we're clear, not a number of different reasons, and it is completely unrelated to this. I love how he's trying to conflate the two to make it sound like the housekeeper was so disgusted by the house and got tired of trying to clean it that she left to sue. No, she sued for wrongful termination because he fired her, and that was because the other housekeeper said that this bitch was constantly commenting on their weight and bullying.
Was bullying her.
Yeah, like this is a fight between housekeepers over their appearances. It has nothing to do with shit.
No.
It even has nothing to do with Ethan. She's mad that she got fired because she called the other housekeeper fat and Ethan fired her. So she's suing him for wrongful termination. That lawsuit will go nowhere. There's a reason you haven't heard anything else about it.
Okay.
But he's gonna invoke that lawsuit during this conversation because he knows that audience that's watching Denham's and her two lovely personalities on screen, that they know that their audience is never going to fact check anything they say. And then they will staunchly defend it until the day they die with zero evidence to back any of it up.
Yeah. I mean,
normal people will fact check things, but not their audience.
It's crazy.
And I'm not Ethan's audience either. I have not watched Ethan in like 16 years, like 10 years, since 2016. I stopped watching him and I came back for this drama. I know nothing about the politics, so I'm not checking in on that. And then when he starts saying off the wall shit about Ethan and about Hassan and iDubbbz, I check it first. So that's the difference between the two. Is her audience, Hassan's audience will just believe whatever they put in front of them, carte blanche, like little toddlers. You can just believe, like, you put anything in front of a toddler and they'll believe it.
And they'll believe it.
They'll believe that there's tooth
My
fairies.
dad used to tell us all kinds of stories.
Yeah, they'll believe that there's fairies that come and take their teeth, that a fat guy comes down their chimney to give them presents, and that a bird brings babies.
A bit. My
stork.
dad, remember the story?
The bird brings babies.
No, not the bird. What did my grandmother tell my dad and his siblings?
Oh, they found babies in old stumps.
Yeah, rotten stumps. That's where babies come from.
Yeah, you can tell toddlers whatever, and they'll believe it because they're toddlers, and that's how their audience acts, like a bunch of fucking toddlers. And they even throw their little temper tantrums online. I'm waiting for you guys in the comments. I will ignore you, but I'm waiting to read it.
Y'all can jump around in the forest kicking old stumps all you want to, just like my dad and his siblings. You're not gonna find any babies.
Keeper. So now the house is just like covered in dog, and he has kids, and his kids like crawl into the dog, and God forbid, I don't know what they do with it. I don't know if they eat it or if it's just from like contact with it with their hands or something, but they contracted a parasite that I had previously never heard of in my life called Giardia from the dog that is all over his house.
Dude, how is it?
Is it true? I'm not gonna check it. Yeah, she asks if it's true, doesn't check it, and then immediately just rolls with it as if it is. Jesus.
How is it that like maybe once a week I look into
How many times on my stream have you guys seen me question something and then stop to Google it before I go forward? If she had followed that up with a Google search and actually checked it and watched an Ethan clip or something, fine. But she didn't. She says, is that true? Just so she can say, well, I questioned it. But then you didn't check it.
You didn't actually
Yeah, she doesn't
do anything.
actually do anything to check it. She just questions it and then rolls forward. The question, in her mind, is rhetorical.
what Ethan Klein's been up to, and every time I manage to find more and more terrible shit.
You didn't find anything. You didn't Google anything. Like, you didn't look up anything. You just had some guy from Argentina tell you it was a fact, and you rolled with it. You didn't find anything.
The gospel.
See, and then she'll make it sound like she looked it up when she didn't. We all just watched you in real time question it, not check it, and then roll with it and say you found it. Like, we all just watched that right fucking now.
With our eyes.
Holy shit.
With the retinas.
Also, this is not a joking matter, by the way. It can be very severe and deadly to small children. I mean, much like many other illnesses, it's very, very, very dangerous when infants get the same sicknesses that adults.
I'm not going to go on my rant about how wrong she is here because we did that when we watched this video, but just know that she is crazy wrong when she says that.
Yeah. There are lots of things that you can get as an adult. You're totally fine. You'll be A-okay. No problem. A child, a small infant that has no immune system, shouldn't be catching anything.
Okay, I will bring up the chickenpox thing because that's one of those things that you can catch it as a child. You'll be totally fine. It's the exact opposite of what she just said. You catch it as a child, you'll develop an immune system for it. You'll be totally fine. Parents, before the vaccine for chickenpox existed, used to throw chickenpox parties to try to get every kid in the neighborhood to catch it early, because as a child, you can fight it off and develop an immunity for it. But if you catch chickenpox as an adult, it can be deadly.
Yeah.
So, exact opposite. Both things can be true. She knows absolutely nothing about what she's talking about. This is a childless individual basically telling the entire world how childless she is.
This chat is an edit compiling the worst messages from Denim's chat, but they are real. You can see the same messages in the top right, which is her live chat.
Thank you for putting the errors on screen. I did this when we played that video to go, they line up. You can put them next to each other and see that they line up. But no one cared. They just talk about the fact that they're fake because he clipped him out of context. Oh God, I hate that argument so much.
So the guy who made the video is advocating CPS take his kids away. Denim's is talking about how careless and shocking it is of Ethan to put his kids in so much danger, as her chat is also echoing that his kids should be taken away. On top of wanting Gila, the mother of his children, executed, which Bad Empanado role plays.
Secretary got.
Meanwhile, Ian's saying, look how unhinged and crazy Ethan's acting. He even went after Matt Lieb.
He's finding new people every day, basically, to get in fights with.
Of all people, this guy, Matt Lieb.
Matt Lieb is in this, like, middle tier. His valuable association is Rhett and Link. So, Rhett and Link, conveniently, are also in this category of popular and powerful men who Ethan does not want to burn bridges with. I think Ethan only respects power right now, which is one of the reasons I made this video in the first place.
The important context, Ian, is that
That's what the concern is. It's power. That's all Ethan wants is power. He doesn't want stuff to stop showing up at his doorstep. He doesn't, like, none of those other
He
grievances.
doesn't want his kids to be left out.
None of those other grievances are real. They're just grievances, like the other girls. Oh, my God, dude. Yeah.
I am so
No, he's just chasing power.
disgusted
So
with
now they're
all
they're
of these
basically
people.
so now they're accusing Ethan of using his children to chase power because this isn't real. It's not
so
real.
disgusted with these people. Like, oh.
Yeah.
that Matt Lieb is constantly platforming Bad Empanada as a good guy.
We both have bad in our, YouTube names.
Yeah, he's another guy bringing this guy on and just letting him spout his bullshit. But he's just chasing power. This isn't. He's got nothing real to complain about here.
And yet we are both good. What do you make of that?
They're both good.
No, you're not.
I think
Piece
you're
of
good.
Matt Lieb is also.
If you ask Thanos if he was good, he'd tell you the same thing too.
Say yes,
Again,
he was.
this dude's a fucking Marvel villain.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make the universe a better place.
One snap at a time.
Me, dude.
Also tweeted out, "We gotta save them kids," referring to people trying to get CPS to take away Ethan's children. Ethan Healer simply asking Ian to tweet out that this is crazy, something I and many other creators who have never spoken to the H3 crew did easily. If the same thing happened to Hassan, I would come to his defense because it's not online banter or disagreements at that point, it's real
Thank
life
you.
harassment. When CPS showed up,
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
so. When they were like, "Oh, he was asking too much of his friend,"
No.
he wanted him to
No,
get in the middle of
he's
it.
not.
He asked for a tweet. Tweets that creators he've never met did without being prompted to, because all he wanted you to do was point at the crazy thing and say it's crazy.
It's a crazy thing.
Discredit the liar so that this doesn't get out of hand. That's all he had to do. That's all he was asking for, which seems pretty fucking reasonable to me.
to Ethan's house, Denham seemingly justifies it, saying kids can't form memories at 5, so who cares?
I think it's
Yes, they
embarrassing
can.
for Hila here to be like,
At
this is
5?
so traumatic for the kids. You're trying to traumatize the children. It's like, dog, you
Well, she later clarifies to say 4 is the cutoff.
They wouldn't have kids in preschool otherwise.
Well, 4 is the cutoff. Preschool is just daycare. That'll be the argument there. There are people who legitimately believe that preschool is just daycare.
We toured a preschool for, well, where the kids were doing goddamn coding.
It's just daycare. Again, childless individuals.
Childless individual. God, all of you
literally
deserve.
the vast majority of people are like are not remembering anything that happened to them
every one of you.
at 3. It's
Every
just
single one of
sympathy, right? It's just she's just pulling like the IDF classic card of like, please, my life is so difficult. Please.
And insert politics into her love for her children for exactly no reason. Her kids have nothing to do with the
Nope.
IDF. None of this has anything to do with the IDF. This is her just talking about her kids.
Yep.
But sure, her caring about her kids is pulling the IDF card. Fucking bullshit, dude. It's so obvious.
Is everyone that is against us needs awful experiences because we're the ones dealing with the real awful experiences.
You're trying to take her kids away. That seems reasonable to complain about as a mother.
I was like, I really
No. As an IDF mother, though. Jesus Christ.
don't want you to create any bad memory here for them. Like, they are 5 and 3. They don't understand this shit.
No, they don't.
So I told him.
And they will remember it.
Create any bad memory for them. You're not forming memories at 3 years old, and it's very rare that you're forming memories at 5 years old.
I'm sorry.
Not-
Where
She's
did
also
you go
ignoring.
to?
She's also ignoring the difference between memories, like you think about them, memories that you recall, and emotional ones that are based
Yeah.
off experiences where you don't know why you react a certain way. You're traumatized.
Like,
Yeah.
I was just
Like a
listening-
child who got, for instance,
A child who got bit by a dog.
Yeah, a child who got bit by a dog
Yeah.
at the age of 2 or 3 is going to have a natural aversion to dogs. They may not remember being bit by the dog itself, but they have an innate fear of dogs that they developed because they remember the experience.
I was listening to something
They
and the
still
guy
remember
was
the
like,
danger.
I've never been a big dog fan. And I didn't realize this until my mom said, oh, maybe that has something to do with that dog that bit you when you were like 2.
Yeah.
And he said, I had no idea that happened.
Yeah, you cannot remember the experience itself, but it becomes like an instinct based off of the experience that now you have like a fear of this thing and you don't know why. Like some people don't know why they have a fear of spiders. So maybe you had a bad experience with one as a child and you don't remember it, but you remember the experience. Yeah, like that. Like this is where fears come from. You're just talking about trauma. So yes, you can be traumatized at 2. Dumbass.
I remember my memories at 2.
Yes, you are. No, you're not. When we're talking about being able to remember, being able to recall memories.
Yeah, she's talking about recalling the memory itself. You may not remember the specific details, but you remember bad thing happened when I was 2 and I had a traumatic experience. You can have an emotional memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's just acting like they're one and the same.
No,
either because she's trying to gaslight her audience and she knows they're different, or she's just retarded.
Yeah.
It's probably the retarded
Yeah, it's
thing.
probably the
Because she's childless and doesn't understand how kids work. She's never seen a kid have a bad experience and see how it affects them, even at the bright, bold age of 2.
like I said, my first memory, I was about to.
I mean, you can look at our kids. They have, if they have a bad experience at 2, then they're gonna be, then they're gonna have a fear of that. Then it's gonna you can get over it eventually, but it depends on how bad the experience was.
Do you remember that when Claire said to me, she said, Mom, I used to have a blue seahorse that lit up. I have a pink one. I had a pink one, but I used to have a blue one.
How long did it take us to get our child to drink apple juice? Because she drank bad apple juice.
A long time.
When she was like 2, and she just knows apple juice bad.
Yeah, it
took
made
a
her
real
stomach hurt.
and that's a simple thing. Like that's not a traumatic thing. That was just she picked up a apple juice that'd been sitting out on the table for too long.
Yeah.
And drank it, and it didn't taste good.
Yeah.
It made her sick. You know, made her feel nauseous, and then she didn't drink apple juice for years. And then,
she still doesn't like to drink it.
Yeah, like you still have to talk because that experience. You remember you drank this thing and it made you feel bad.
But I mean, she even said to me, I had a blue seahorse. Where is the blue seahorse? And used to be, I would go, hey, look over there. But now I say that was at your Mimi's house.
Yeah, that was at your other grandma's house. The racist grandma.
Yeah, the racist grandma.
So she's associating a childhood toy with the fact that they were treated differently because of their race.
Exactly.
Which is why we don't talk to that part of the family anymore. But they remember. Like they associate things. Sure.
And
they not remember the specifics.
That's also the reason why we left when we left, because
we didn't want them to be traumatized. Yeah.
Yeah, they were at that age where
we have to disconnect from this. We put them in a position where I was like, you guys got to change or we're leaving. They refused to change, so we left because I'm not letting them traumatize my kids.
Nope.
Because they're already associating that trauma with their toys.
Yep.
Yeah, because that's what they do. They find something to latch onto. They may not be able to recall the memory of being rejected because they were brown, but they remember the experience.
Remember the yelling?
Yeah, all of that.
Neither one of them likes loud noises to this day.
All of that.
It's like 4 is the cutoff, but even if you are forming any memories at 4, you're not going to be able to remember them past like 15. You have maybe 1 or 2 memories.
She then reads the exact opposite on stream when she looks it up, but then chooses to repeat that she was right.
There's a wide variation across about the mean across methods cohorts. The average age of adults' earliest memories is 3.5 years old.
If she was wrong.
You're not really forming memories at 3.
She just read where it said that you. Okay. Yeah. She just read the opposite and then just doubled down on what she said.
You literally just read out of your mouth that the average adult starts forming memories at 3.
Yep.
What is happening?
All of these people want to take your kids away because you don't co-sign everything they say. If you don't fall in line with your language, they will try to ruin you. Denims would go on to say that she doesn't condone people calling CPS, but she justified it. Even as she speaks, her chat is calling for CPS.
We're talking about CPS. 1, I don't condone. 2, I've never condoned it, and you will not be able to find a clip of me saying, yes, we should do this, because it doesn't exist. I've literally given Ethan Klein credit on multiple times or multiple instances, and I will do it again right now, for not showing photos of his kids.
I'm sure there's anti-Semitic people that are attacking you guys, but they're not me.
It's her.
Yeah, that's the stuff that was in their chat. Did you see that?
What?
That's the stuff that's in their chat. They deserve it.
Yeah.
They aren't poor people. They are rich. They won't be treated the same way. You literally just said all the reasons why the claim that was made on screen shouldn't be true.
It's CPS, not the cops. Oh my god!
Yep. It's
Taking
funny.
someone's child away is...
It's funny that she doesn't, and here you go. Like I said, it all comes back to politics. It's funny that she doesn't extend this logic to Palestinian children.
Yep.
God forbid her kids interact with a CPS worker, but raiding Palestinian villages is okay.
Yep.
She didn't say that was okay either. Her kids have nothing to do with Palestinian kids. Of course she's going to worry about the kids that she's, that are hers, that are living in her house.
Yes.
Yeah. Any mother on the planet would worry about their kids before kids in another country first.
Yes.
No one looked at those fucking commercials. For the price of a cup of coffee a day, you could help this starving African child and go, you guys can't have McDonald's today. I got to feed that fucking African kid. Okay, I got to send my next paycheck to Ethiopia. You guys getting ramen for a week. No parent fucking did that ever. This is retarded logic.
But it's just the price of a cup of coffee a day.
Of his kids.
I'm sure there's anti-Semitic people that are attacking you guys, but they're not me.
It's her. After seeing all of this, because
But it's the people that you're siding with, which
Yeah.
makes you guilty by association,
Yeah.
dumbass.
Ian does know about it. He says Denim's is his friend, but Ethan is a halfway friend for wanting him to speak up.
Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We are friends with Denim. We think that she's a good person like we think Ethan and Hila are good people. Kind of a...
But they're not me. The people doing the bad things aren't me, but we do think they're good people.
All right,
But like
Baldy.
immediately contradict the last statement. Well, we do
Baldy.
think that they're good people and we're friends with them, but the people saying the bad things about you aren't me. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at my good friends who are good people who said bad things about you and caused it. Like it
Yeah,
can't
you
be
can't have it
both.
both
Yeah, like it
ways.
can't be both, dude.
Like,
Either you're on their
Baldy,
team or
you're
you're
a
not.
piece of shit, so's the
Yeah.
chick.
Either you're on board with it or you're not,
Yeah,
man.
y'all are pieces of shit.
tricky situation. How can you possibly think that they're both good people at their core?
It's not tricky at all. She's acting like a demon.
People can have crash out moments. People can say things that they don't mean. People can say things because they want internet clout and attention. I don't know.
Projection.
I was gonna say all of that
These
stuff
are
that you're doing.
Self-reporting, things I'm doing, projection.
Now, I think they're both probably guilty of saying things that they don't mean for internet clout and attention. Right now, one's a little bit more fucking nasty to me than the other.
You've lost your mind.
Me, it's
Yeah,
all about me.
I'm still not perfect. I think that is, my empathy meter's only maybe like a quarter.
I guess his empathy meter got drained because he forgot all that empathy stuff real quick, didn't he?
Once again, this is a
Empathy
bigger problem.
empathy only applies to people he agrees with, which isn't empathy, but okay, yeah. Apparently that empathy meter changed.
Why do I feel like I'm taking crazy pills?
Because that's what they want to do. They want to make you
everyone-
look crazy. They want to make you feel crazy. That's how gaslighting works.
I know,
This is
but
gaslighting.
everyone is glossing over this, like, fucking elephant in the room. Like, you not understanding how empathy works at your age is a problem.
No. We're so proud of him. He's so brave. So brave.
He's so psycho.
So brave.
No. I mean,
Yeah, these
like
people
I
are
said,
insane.
the Manson lamps.
Mantle lamps. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Jesus. Oh.
Of the way filled up potentially, but it's at least there. And I just want you guys to know that you can unlock ability empathy.
This is the empathy you...
He sounds like he's about to. He sounds like he's about to sell you a course. For $59.99, you guys can unlock empathy too. I can show you how I did it. I can tell you the secrets. You want to be empathetic like me? For $59.99. Join my Discord.
20 installments of
for $59.99 a month. It's a monthly fee. It's a live service. You can get his you can get his private videos in his Discord. This is the same way Sneeko tries to sell his alpha male course. Like word for word, bar for bar, dude.
Hold on, wait, he has an alpha male course?
Sneeko?
That dude?
Yes.
The dude that's like fucking Gene from Bob's Burgers going, this is me now. This is me
Yes,
now.
that dude.
This is me now.
Yes, now he's
You
jumped on
can't
board the course
even-
train. Yes.
You can't even like
Yes, he sounds like a textbook fucking red pill grifter trying to sell you a fucking course.
you can't even commit like to one personality.
Nah, it doesn't matter. He's gonna take the money and run and then go do a different thing.
True.
And which
But-
is
but,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, he just sounds like that for
too.
$59.99. You too can learn empathy. You can be a good person.
So what's the character's name? The ace of the
He's saying the quiet
The
part
Duke
out
of
loud.
Diamonds.
This is the thing that Hassan does for years. It's how he became rich. It's this idea that follow me and you can be like me. We're the good people.
Yeah.
That's why people donate to a stream. He's just too dumb to mask it, so he's saying it out loud. You could be like me. You can learn empathy like me. God, it's so bad.
We'll even send you a certificate.
You don't learn empathy. You either are empathetic or you're a sociopath.
Yeah.
It's one of the two.
Yeah.
You don't learn empathy.
I
You can
mean,
emulate it.
yeah.
That's what sociopaths do. But the rest of us didn't have to be taught to feel for others. That's why it's called a feeling. You don't learn how to feel things. You either just feel them or you don't.
Yeah.
Learned empathizing with the people who want to take away his kids and kill his wife. But to Ian, both of these people are crashing out equally.
I actually have a lot of friendships that are kind of that way, where it's like, you know, one of the friends doesn't fuck with the other friend, but there is someone in the middle who kind of fucks with both of them, but separately. Yeah, there's a lot of friendships that are like that. I'm not gonna.
Yes, and all of those friendships fall apart when it reaches the level that this one is. Stop comparing it to normal people's
That's
like
not normal.
No, stop comparing it to normal people who are caught in the middle between two friends who are arguing about something stupid and they're just having a falling out. If one of those friends starts trying to take the other friend's child, then like you can't be in the middle anymore. You're either okay with that friend trying to take the other friend's child or you're not. You can't like look at both of them and go, well, maybe he's got a good reason. Well, maybe he shouldn't have. Yeah, like you can't sit on the fence. Either you're okay with this would be the breaking point for 99% of normal people during that kind of friendship. Like there are lines that are crossed where you can't sit in the middle anymore. You have to pick a side.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just lazy. That sort of friendship dynamic sounds exhausting.
Because I've had those kind.
I can't.
Because I've had those kind of friends over stuff even smaller than this, and I've reached the point where I was like, this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
I can't be friends with you if you're friends with them. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
They have crossed a line. And if you're okay with that line being crossed, I'm not okay with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's very normal. It's a very normal reaction.
It's a normal thing. At some point you have to take a hard line and just be like, yeah, I can't do this.
Make you guys like meet up and kiss or anything.
This isn't just some petty beef where they just can't get along. If your friend is screwing up, you should be able to tell them. But Ian knows that. He just thinks Ethan's the one screwing up. It's genuinely evil that Ian doesn't disclose the extent of the harassment in this video. His audience has no idea because he omits it. Even in his follow-up content deputy, the extent of the harassment is never disclosed. Instead, he tries to find examples of Ethan being dishonest, and they're just wrong.
Ethan Klein uses this very deceptively edited video that is just like doing this smooth scroll to make it seem like that's all of Denham's chat. But that's not what it is. And then when he's called out on it, he fucking...
Willie literally showed you that's what it was earlier in this video. Pointed at the arrows and show you where they lined up, but okay.
He hides it. He moves his window over the real chat.
Also, this is not a joking matter, by the way. It can be very severe and deadly to small children.
Dude, it is Denham's chat. It's just a compilation of the messages. If iDubbbz just watches the original clip that Ethan is commenting on, you can find the same messages in the chat. The show is called Content Cop.
He just did it again. Where he literally like, look at that. He did it with an animation this time so you fucking monkeys could figure it out. Watch.
Children.
Dude, it is Denim's chat. It's just a compilation of the messages. If iDubbbz just watches the original clip that
Here we
Ethan
go.
is commenting on, you can find the same messages in the chat.
Let me pull them out and compare them for you.
The show is called Content Cop, but
You guys
there is
figured
no
out yet?
It's a
Ian then
common
just
sense
goes
kind
full
of
mask
thing.
off and says
It
the
doesn't.
CPS code was wholly justified.
To be honest, I'm very proud that I didn't immediately jump to Ethan and Neela's defense, because when you look into the story, it actually looks a lot for Ethan and Neela. And I do mean that literally. There was this H3 stream where Ethan was dumping as per usual. He was talking about his own health. He was
And that's coming rich from him. Have you seen any of his podcasts?
No.
It is him and his wife just, well, it's his wife basically just emasculating him on stream for an hour.
Oh.
Yeah, it's him trauma dumping and her emasculating them on stream. For instance, the only reason we know that he has IBS and shits his pants is because she just says it during one of their live streams. She was like, I mean, that's why we have to take a extra pair of pants for you, because you'll shit your pants in public. You don't do it as
Jesus
much.
Christ.
You don't do it as much now. And he's like, yeah, I got IBS. And I'm like, yeah, you guys are just trauma dumping in front of your audience. That's your
Jesus
entire
Christ,
fucking
stop it.
podcast.
Stop
It's just you guys like airing out your problems for an hour in front of an audience.
No.
Problems that shouldn't be shared with people.
Yeah.
And he just sits there and takes it. Like it's just her embarrassing him over and over again for hours on end while people watch. Not many, not many people, but a few people will watch.
People watch. I mean, there's
talking
a
about his
fetish for that.
Yeah, but let's listen to this guy when he tells Ethan that's not what podcasts are. Well, yeah, let's listen to the guy with the podcast that has 300 viewers tell the guy with the 50,000 viewer podcast what podcasts are. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Hey, maybe I should call up Joe Rogan and tell him what comedy is. He should listen to me.
You should listen to
me and my 300 viewers.
breath, his dog having diarrhea, his dog having giardia.
Olive has giardia. It's a bacterial infection in the intestines that makes you have diarrhea.
His child running around putting things in their mouth.
Sonny's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has giardia.
The whole family possibly having giardia.
Oh,
and now Ela has giardia.
Shut. For real?
And now I think this morning I had diarrhea.
Oh my god.
Mentioned diarrhea a lot.
Obviously
crazy
joking,
diarrheas like in the middle of the night. All the time he's having these crazy diarrheas. You wash your hands as best you can, but these are really nasty diarrheas.
I guess this is all you need to justify calling CPS, according to Ian.
So of course, Ethan, having made so many enemies over the years, other people react to his content. And when other people see that he's talking about his children getting giardia from dog poop, people are quite reasonably concerned. And so, yes, anyone who's seeing that content might be concerned enough.
No one isn't saying don't be concerned. There's a difference between being concerned and being like, you guys okay, and asking them what they need and talking to them versus, oh my God, you guys did this to your children.
Yeah.
Like no one gets told from another parent. Like we go to the school and then we go to those parent teacher meetings. That never crosses my mind for another parent to go, yeah, little Katie's sick. She's got blah, blah, blah. So we're trying to take care of that. And I go, you let her get that? You let her get that?
How
Oh
dare
my God. I gotta call CPS. That's not a normal response. No one hears that someone else's kids are sick and goes, the parents gave it to them.
Yeah.
Like, what?
To call CPS, including Ethan's own chat, which, by the way, is not a measly number. It's about 26,000 at the time of this stream.
What's more likely, Ethan's chat laughing and goofing around, or Denim's chat saying call CPS and then CPS shows up 3 days later? It's obviously Denim's. He's being dishonest. Ian also says that it's completely reasonable to call CPS over kids getting giardia. It's not. You do one Google search, talk to any doctor, you'll find out that...
Yeah, and if you do, again, one Google search, you find out that giardia actually isn't that uncommon, and it's not even that dangerous. It's not a big deal. It's give them a couple pills, it goes away. Like, it's not a big deal.
And as he said,
it's basically like catching the flu. It's not a big deal.
At a certain age, they put everything in their mouth.
They put everything in their mouth. It's not as uncommon as they make it out to be, and it's definitely not as big a problem like any doctor will tell you, it's not really that big a deal.
Nope.
Yeah. The illness that can easily pass from person to person. Young kids are more likely to have it, but it's unusual for the entire family to be infected with some. You get diarrhea, you get some cramps and belly pains, and then you take a couple pills, it goes away. Like you can Google it and find out for yourself. You can talk to any doctor. It's not as common as the flu, but when they hear it, they're like, oh yeah, I've seen it before. Just here, you take this, take some antibiotics, take this, it goes away, whatever.
It'll go away.
Yeah, like it's not a huge deal, and it's definitely not a reason to call CPS.
Is extremely common among children. The idea that parents can't tell a story about how their kids got sick without having to worry about a CPS call is frankly insane. Ethan's kid didn't even end up having Giardia, not that that matters. It's wild that Ian puts the blame on Ethan.
Why does it have to be anyone else's fault but your own? Take some fucking responsibility.
For what? Do you think he called CPS on himself? Is it his fault people want to murder his wife too? Yes, according to Ian.
They just implied that we are okay with people using CPS as harassment.
You literally just said you were okay with it.
And when other people see that he's talking about
two minutes
his
earlier.
children getting Giardia from dog poop, people are quite reasonably concerned.
Is Ian okay? Did a lizard person kill him and start wearing his skin? Brother, put back on.
He's a Skrull.
He's a
Skrull. They are Marvel villains. He's a Skrull. He's been replaced. Secret Wars, guys.
Oh, God.
The not so secret online wars.
Not so secret.
On your glasses and uncross your eyes because you're not seeing straight. This guy got called a simp and a cuck, realized that people being mean to you on the internet wasn't fun, and then deleted all of his content got videos because he found empathy. But this is the most soulless and cruel video he has ever uploaded. Even at the end of the video when he says he's crying for Ethan, he's really crying for himself.
You know, I also see the dynamic of Ethan and Neil. Like
yep, this is
it's
virtue
really
signal.
hard to be a couple online and see people attacking your partner, and it's like, okay, like if you come to their defense, if that doesn't,
He makes it sound like he's talking about Ethan and his wife, but he's just talking about his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
always help them, right? Sometimes
that's how
that
he
makes
makes
it worse
the
for
tears
them.
out.
Okay, so now imagine it's not just him and his wife. It's his entire family, his employees, his pets. Use that empathy, buddy. I want to wrap up this segment.
You can do it.
About some racist dog whistles. And I don't mean it in the same way Hassan means it, where he calls everything racist. Someone says they don't like using a bidet while vacationing in Japan. Racist.
Kind of fun in the beginning, and now it's just getting really, really annoying. I just kind of want to wipe my butt like a normal person. Yeah.
Wait, what? Why is he making it seem like you have to wash your ass? Bro, here's how you want to know something about white supremacy?
Oh, God.
You want to know something about white supremacy? You can go anywhere on the planet. If you're white and you criticize something.
Oh my God. I don't use a bidet. I'm a white supremacist. You married a white supremacist.
We
I'm
don't
sorry.
have a bidet. I don't.
You're a white supremacist.
So are your kids, apparently.
And a dog.
And your dog, yep, and the cat.
No one thinks you're a barbaric caveman. But because he's fucking white and he's in a non-white country, people still don't understand that that is literally a barbarian going, grug,
You're not a barbarian, but you're literally a barbarian going,
I was gonna say, what was that sentence?
I ain't put my feet all over Charlie Murphy couch. Yeah, I remember putting my feet all over Charlie Murphy couch. God damn it.
There's internalized white supremacy inside of all of us, where because the Western world, the Western ethnocentric, Anglo-Saxon domination is so.
Most of the people in his audience can't define like 4 of the things he just said in that sentence. Ooh, he's saying a lot of big words. It must be true. Yeah, ethno, bad stuff.
Yeah.
Free Palestine.
So fucking pervasive that we look at that and our immediate reaction isn't like, oh, he's a barbarian.
Yo, this guy's retarded. Someone calls him stupid, racist dog whistle.
Hassan didn't mean to insult me. He simply reached the narrow limits of his understanding of the world. Dude, I literally...
I love the normal person responses.
Yes.
Like, yo, this dude's retarded.
This dude's retarded.
Dude. I can't do this. The narrow limits. Yeah, dude. Just say I'm a Turk roach with a cockroach brain and move on, okay? Yeah, it. I'm saying it, dude, okay? This motherfucker not exactly out of the alt-right pipeline, okay? Straight up, dude.
But Ian having the choice between 10 different swords in Hassan's house and landing on the swastika one, not a dog whistle.
God forbid you pick up a sword in here, okay?
I was thinking about doing some sort of ritual in here.
No more swords, okay?
I'm the one who thoughtlessly picked up the sword. We were grabbing a lot of props in Hassan's room, and there are...
To pull a card from my dad's playbook. I don't believe that.
Are a lot of props.
There's a lot of anti-Semitic props, and he just chose that anti-Semitic one as opposed to the other anti-Semitic.
So it is anti-Semitic.
Hold on, wait. There are a lot of anti-Semitic props in your room.
He's gonna say he's joking, but
yeah, I know, but I don't believe that.
I think he's one of those guys that hides the
Yeah.
truth as a joke.
Yeah, where jokes
Wouldn't
have
it-
truth in them. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be crazy if me and you had a threesome, sweetie? Wouldn't it be wild if your friend Sharon just came over and we had a threesome? That'd be fucking
weird if
that
your
would be fucking
sister
crazy. I mean, that would be insane. Who would really want that?
I mean-
Is she into it? I mean, who would really want that?
I mean, have you ever thought about that? Yeah, he's that guy.
Yeah. Jesus fucking Christ.
Ones.
There's only one prop in Hassan's house that has a swastika, and you just so happen to pick up that one. Now, I know this sword was from an anime, and people, including Ethan, were willing to give everybody the benefit of the doubt on this.
I don't want to talk about Hassan's sword. I don't want to talk about Hassan's sword hilt because Ethan himself basically admitted already multiple times he doesn't think any of us did that intentionally. And he would be right.
Except in the clip he shows, 2 minutes after he says he didn't think you did it intentionally, they found a bunch of clips of Hassan calling it a swastika sword, admitting he doesn't watch Bleach, and then going, oh, so they did do it intentionally. Yeah, but he doesn't play that part. That's the context. Again, lie by omission. That's the part he left out.
I think any of them actually wanted to put a swastika in the photo. No, no. I don't actually think that.
But what Ian purposely omits is later in that same podcast, Ethan discovers that Hassan knew nothing about the anime and refers to that sword as the swastika sword.
This one's sicker. Wait.
Yep, there it is. He calls it sus.
Yeah.
It's questionable.
Immediately goes for the swastika one. Got it.
It doesn't seem like a coincidence, but it gets better. A point of contention between Ethan and Hassan is that Hassan calls Jewish people inbred. Sometimes he specifies he only means settlers. Other times it seems like he's just throwing it out there.
I should go to the old city so I can get my fucking shit pushed in by some of the most inbred fundamentalist hicks.
When Hassan is debating Ethan and they're talking about this, what does Anissa tweet out? Inbred. It's very intentional. It's meant to make Ethan feel paranoid about anti-Semitism being normalized online. It clearly is among all of these people.
What is that?
Yeah. This looks like a swastika.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Or do you think that now that it's been pointed out that he should remove the photo at least? Take it down?
No. Why would he take it down? That'd be crazy.
It's always policing content. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Policing content.
Where else have I heard that phrase?
Didn't you participate in a series called Content Cop?
I was just thinking
You want to talk to me about policing?
Yeah, talk about policing content, and the guy he's in bed with literally has a series called Content Cop.
Content, you f***ing dipshit, dude.
So what did we learn about empathy? Empathy is when you sympathize with people who falsely try to break up families because they hear someone got sick. Siding with people making death threats and preying on people's seemingly real fears of anti-Semitism being normalized. Empathy is when you don't honestly represent the other person's arguments and you just lie by omission to all of your viewers. For as much as Ian claims to have grown as a person, he has never lied like this before. The content cop Ian regrets most is on Tana Mojo, and after Ian apologized to her, she says she didn't deserve it.
But I'm more so just talking about like his actions to me, like, you know, him.
That's the girl where he went to her con and said the N-word during the photo op with her. Because there was a controversy with her at the time that she said the N-word and she was trying to be like she's not okay with it.
Yeah.
When clearly she was. So in order to clown on her, he went to her thing and then he was doing a photo op with her and he was like, they pull up. It was kind of like going to Comic-Con where they're in front of the screen. It's your turn to take the picture, and he gets in front of her, and he was like, say N-word, and except he said the N-word.
Yeah.
And then the picture, the guy snaps the picture right after he says it, and it's him doing this and telling her to say the N-word, and her going. just having a reaction to it. Yeah. But even she, because he claimed that he felt bad about those videos and no one deserved that. This was her take on it after it happened now.
Him showing up to my show, him kind of putting me on blast, him inevitably making me kind of canceled and lose subscribers and have to apologize and all that type of stuff. I kind of think I like deserved that. And maybe that's like dark, like to say.
Yes, even the person that you felt bad for and you said that it's a bad thing and that these content cops did no good, the person you claim you did the worst to was like, actually, I'm glad it happened.
I deserved it.
Yeah.
But
listen to her.
I don't feel like I'm owed an apology. I think I would be a completely different person if I didn't have that. I think it like I was on track to just be so on my high horse and like egotistical and like nothing could go wrong, that something going wrong gave me such a dose of reality that like this might not last forever. Like,
Wow, I don't want to say bullying works, but it's almost like some people need to be knocked down a peg to be put in their place and be reminded of who they are so they don't go off the rails. Wow, imagine that. Some good can come from this.
You need to be held accountable for actions.
This is real growth. This is maturity. What you are is a small person who doesn't have confidence in making their content anymore, so you cling on to these vampires while projecting your own insecurities onto Ethan.
It's so hard for me on my podcast to
projection.
Loosen up. It's incredibly hard. I talked about it in my apology. Like, I am so insecure about my ability to entertain. I think he feels the same, to be honest. I don't think he said as much.
Dude, this is classic projection. Ian cannot fucking manage to come up with a joke now, so he thinks that Ethan is too insecure to make jokes anymore. This is projection, like 101 over here. What are you talking about?
Come on,
That's
dude.
exactly
You're one
what it
step
is.
away from calling me a cuck. Just take the plunge.
You're a cuck. But even worse, you're mentally cucked. You're sitting on Hassan's stream in the cuck chair as he shits all over drama streamers, slowly realizing that you fit the description.
That's part of the reason why I often
Watch. He was doing a stream with him, and Hassan's supposed to be describing, well, me and Willie Mac and drama streamers who react to him. But watch Ian's face as he slowly realizes in real time that everything Hassan just said applied to him. Yeah, watch his face.
Don't fight back against a lot of these people that are fueling these hate raids and brigades is because I know I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing.
That's misreporting the news and lying.
And eventually all of that is going to be background noise. And those people, they have a shelf life. They have a shelf life because
his eyebrows are just like furrowing.
they don't have the same stubborn nature that I do. They don't have the same interests as I do. They inevitably become their own worst enemies. They inevitably cook themselves. You might think you're riding high on the slot for a little bit. You might think you're getting showered with praise. An army of anonymous Redditors telling you you're brilliant. But at the end of the night, when you go home and you sit down and you look yourself in the mirror, you're not going to recognize who you've become. That's it. It's turning into a lolcow of a different variety. That's what I think.
Those are all of the things you've seen. I know you're a true crime person. How many times have you seen someone break down the guy in the chair in the interrogation room as he slowly realizes he's caught? That the walls have closed in and that he's caught, that the cops know everything.
Yes.
And that they figured it out.
That's the look on the face right
you
there.
You think you're fooling those cops at first, and then you slowly come to realize, oh shit, they know everything. And then you slowly realize you're fucked and that you have no future. Yeah, that's what's happening here. He realizes he has fucked his career and now he has no future. The minute that his lips are removed from Hassan's asshole, his career is now over. He has no audience of his own left. He is doing what the rest of them are doing. I told you, Denims, Mike from PA, that whole crowd, they're all just waiting rooms for Hassan. They are all leeching off that audience. If any of them get disconnected from Hassan, they have nothing.
They have nothing.
And he has joined their ranks. Thank you, sir.
Why?
That's so mean.
why?
It's mean because it's you.
It's so mean. Yeah, it's mean because it's you.
Ian's empathy tour ends with him blindsiding all of his fighters after tainting it with this drama. According to Harley, the main event fighter for Creator Clash 1, 2, and 3, H3's audience was a big percentage of the ticket sales and promotion for the event.
H3 sold the most tickets to Creator Clash 1 and 2, I believe. I think they did a lot of ticket
That's right. That charity event that made over $1 million for charity the first time and then lost $250,000 the second time. The time it made money,
Yeah.
the people that he's hating on right now are the reason it sold all those tickets.
The money.
It was his audience that went to your first Creator Clash and made you that money. And then the more disconnected you've become from that audience, the less successful you've been.
Somebody got too big for his britches.
Imagine that.
And forgot, how he made. How he made it.
Yep.
Wait, is that true? I would think that, wouldn't you? Like, what else? What other entity promoted Creator Clash?
I think that personally, but I'm not the current headliner for the third card, so they want to hear it from you, not me.
The H3 podcast promoted Creator Clash 1 and 2 more than anyone. So of course Ian makes a video on Ethan alienating that whole audience, but also making the war in the Middle East a fundamental talking point of the event.
I don't know about the other fighters, but just for me, like, I'm just kind of like, oh, cool, the fun little charity fundraiser has now been attached to a decades-long bloody holy war in the Middle East. It's whatever. Cool.
Yeah.
That's not really like the fun sentiment I had. They did a temperature check on my team. They called my team, and they were like, how do you guys doing? How do you feel about everything? And, they spoke to my guy, and he was like, not that good. Not that cool of a thing. And then they hit me up, and I was like, well, how does everyone else feel about it? And they were like, everyone loves it. Everyone's fine. Everyone's great. Your team's a little wonky about it, but everyone's good.
Oh God.
And I was like, well, I guess, yeah. I mean, I think I'm the only Jewish person on the card.
Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine that. The Jewish team felt a little weird and everybody else was fine with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know it's not like the content cop I know was supposed to be about like Ethan's behavior.
Yeah, then it turned into content cop Israel.
Yeah, exactly.
And the content deputy, iDubbbz.
It all comes back to that 3,000-year-old holy war, in a desert thousands of miles away.
Yeah.
This holy war that's been going on hundreds of years before you were born and will probably be going on hundreds of years from now.
Going on when you're dead. Yeah.
Anissa would claim that they are no longer affiliated with Creator Clash and that they inform the fighters.
Anissa and I have decided to step away from Creator Clash. We have relinquished control to our business partners who ran the previous two events. They're very capable. They know exactly what they're doing. They run events on a regular basis. The event is still happening. Anissa and I just don't have any financial ties. We don't have any ownership. We've already told all the fighters, and it seems like most people understand that this is the best move.
From everything I've seen, it seems like the fighters don't really know what's going on. But don't worry, Hassan is going to give the reason for why the
one of them didn't even realize that they had stepped away or transferred ownership of it. And then I've seen streams from some of the other ones where they're like, I don't even know if this thing's still happening. And they're like, yeah, like they don't know what the fuck's going on.
They don't know what's happening.
You guys are terrible at communication.
Headliner of the event dropped out, and by that I mean make it up on the spot.
Him and Anissa basically relinquished control over Creator Clash 3, a boxing charity match that they had put together third year in a row after Ethan got
that's his business power suit.
I know, it's very puffy, like he's got...
I think it's a woman's suit. I feel like I'm having a Michael Scott woman. That's a woman's suit.
It says mysterious
like
on the inside.
It's got shoulder pads and everything.
Yeah, like...
yeah, I think it's a woman's suit.
1980s power suit, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he's got the Hillary Clinton power suit going on.
Lena to drop out, and also another fighter, Harley, also dropped out because he was upset and offended that Ian and iDubbbz had dared to criticize Ethan.
Harley writes he's lying or someone lied to him. That's not why I backed out of the event. We just saw Harley tell Nick that he was all for the content cop being made on Ethan as long as it was about his content. You know what Harley didn't seem to like though? The dog whistle that was the swastika sword.
They're your swords, and according to the New York Times article, there was 10 options. So what's the chances that they chose the swastika one? That seems pretty slim.
Well,
you have 10
considering
swords,
that I
don't
had
you?
The week prior to that.
Yeah, if you really didn't want it in the video, okay, if we're supposed to believe that you got 10 swords at your house and only one of them looks like a swastika, the odds of him grabbing that are already 10%.
Yeah.
And you mean to tell me that that's the one he grabbed and you didn't go, oh, maybe that one's a bad idea. Use
maybe
this
that
one.
one.
And then you
Yeah.
didn't swap it out for another one? Like, the amount of stuff we would have to believe in order for this to have been a complete fucking coincidence is outrageous, dude.
The amount of just people,
This
the
is gaslighting.
dropping the ball.
This is
whatever you wanna call it.
and anyone who is believing it or using these talking points to defend it is either malicious or retarded. Like this is weaponized ignorance. Like, I'm sorry. This is an insane amount of stuff that we would have to buy into to not believe the one simple thing, which is oh, you did it on purpose. So it's either, oh, you did it on purpose, or no, oh, okay, so he grabbed the wrong one by accident, and then you didn't catch it, and then Denim's didn't catch it, and then yeah, like I have to believe so many things. Yeah, like I have to believe so many things to go it was an accident versus going, oh, you did it on purpose. Yeah, like that's the obvious answer.
That's the simplest answer. But
I believe.
This is why, like, it always amazes me when white people question why black people especially don't trust white people. Or we feel like it's, 1,000 cuts all the time. Because of shit like this. Because we see shit like this and we go, yeah, so whether or not you're saying it about me, you're saying it about them. So yeah, it probably wouldn't take much for you to go there.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get it. This is
I'm just saying, a lot of white people act like they don't understand it.
This is insane. Like
what
you have
it
to
is.
be conspiracy brained to believe this.
Yeah.
Versus just believing the very simple answer of, oh, they did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Like you would have to be the level of conspiracy brained that people get to from watching Alex Jones and going, false flag, Sandy Hook was a false flag, they paid crisis actors and blah blah. Yeah, like you'd have to believe just a ton of other bullshit to get to the conclusion that he wants you to get to, instead of just going, or maybe the thing happened. Or yeah, and to deny the thing instead of just going, or maybe the thing happened.
Or maybe this is what happened.
Yeah. It's fucking retarded.
I don't know the exact timeline. I don't really remember when they shot this, but I had the sword out because I was doing an Assassin's Creed promo. Do you feel like if I thought it was like genuinely a swastika sword, I would use it in an Assassin's Creed promo shot?
Why are you using it in an Assassin's Creed promo shot anyway?
Yes. The answer to this, Ethan, is yes. You believed that he would dog whistle in a promo for Assassin's Creed and hope that they wouldn't catch it, which they didn't. But also, you were holding the sword differently in that promo, so you couldn't see the hilt, which is probably why you got away with it.
Because you don't hold a sword like this unless you want to hurt someone.
Yeah, and the Assassin's Creed promo, he's not pointing it at the camera. He's holding it off to the side.
Yeah.
He's got it down by... Yeah, like you can't see the hilt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's this isn't even a comparison, but the answer, like, Ethan just needed to bite the bullet here and go, yes, I think you would. Yes, I think your ego is that big and you think you could get away with it, and you did. And then I'd point out also you held it in a way in that promo so you couldn't see the hilt, so why wouldn't you? I'm sorry, these two things are not comparable.
No, they're not.
Yes.
There you go. Yes. He needed to.
That's what we call dog whistle, Hassan.
I'm just looking for clarification here. Do you think that I deliberately was using a dog whistle in an Assassin's Creed promo, or that it was a cool sword that was laying around because it's the only long sword that I have?
You have 10 swords.
Yes.
I know, they're heavy. That's not a real sword.
See, guys, the other swords were too heavy, as if a sword isn't.
They were too heavy. This guy who used to have a video series about how masculine he was and about how to be an alpha male, the guy who used to make red pill content, wasn't strong enough to pick up his sword, guys.
It was too
This
heavy.
is so these are childish excuses.
Yeah.
This is a child's logic when they get caught with their hand.
Does better.
Yeah, like when they need to make excuses because they don't want to get in trouble. Like these are the kind of excuses child use. Like this is retarded. I can't believe anyone actually buys this shit.
They don't know any better because they don't have children, obviously.
They've been children. Like Jesus, fuck.
Well, I mean, you've been a child, and I would think that would give you some empathy as to how it would feel.
No, because they
CPS
wouldn't accept
come
these.
in,
Because
but-
they wouldn't accept these excuses if the roles were reversed and it came from the other
Yeah,
side.
I know.
This is so fucking retarded. It's so disingenuous. Just, ugh. It's so mind-numbingly blatant. Like, I'm not even mad that you're lying about it. I'm mad that you're so fucking bad at it. It's insulting my intelligence that you expect me to believe such a bad lie. Do better. Get better at lying, so at least I can feel good about believing it.
Bad as your
meant
job.
to be held. What's very odd to me is how proud Ian and Anissa were for taking their own event and making fighters drop out and then dropping out themselves when things got hard, screwing everybody who's still involved. They're seemingly very proud of it. Anissa tweeted, "Hey BB girl, I know you're so desperate for any crumbs from me, so here's a big piece of you. We are not financially tied to this event, and even if we were, we had it situated to protect us and the charity. You have no."
This is just her bragging about how she left all the people involved hanging.
Yeah, I was gonna say
and didn't tell them that most of the fighters still don't know what's going on or if this is even happening, and she has washed her hands of it. This is just her bragging about how she left all those creator friends of hers, because these were supposed to be their friends, because remember, this was creator clash with their personal friends. Some of the people on that list get as many views on their videos as I do. Like these, some of them weren't big streamers or big YouTubers. They were just their friends. This is how they treat their friends. And then they have the nerve to give Ethan a speech about how he treats his friends by asking them to disavow the CPS call.
I mean,
these
I
people are
don't know
fucking
this
snakes,
chick,
bro.
But she sounds like a see you next Tuesday.
She definitely is. You should see her next never.
No power over us. You're just an asshole. The remaining business partners have seemingly tried to get Harley back on the
constant
car.
victimhood mentality.
Very easy for me to separate. And then when, it was like Ian and Anissa are stepping down, you want to come back? I was like, that was never a problem for me.
Wow, wait a minute. So wait, they dropped down and then they tried to bring you back to the table?
What do you know? You didn't know that?
When the event fails, and it seems like it's going to, Ian has already planted the seeds to blame Ethan.
Can't wait for them to blame us for their failed event. Don't worry, Ela. I'm not going to blame you guys for anything Creator Clash related. I know
But the
you're
internet
terrified
might-
of taking accountability for anything, so that will rest solely on my shoulders.
It actually does, though. Why is he being sarcastic?
But I can't speak for the internet. The internet might actually blame you guys for it.
How stupid does he think we are? His own fighters aren't fooled by this.
Ian and Ethan are now doing this YouTube
Yeah, these are
battle
his
against
fighters.
each other, going through
These are the
this
people that they left
drama
hanging.
war. Creator Clash
That they-
is
this
receiving
drama
a lot
that
of
they want
collateral
nothing to do with.
damage.
See, it's so funny. Everyone's saying like, "Oh, I hate H3." How H3 actually got Creator Clash to get some negative air. They see, this is the thing. iDubbbz made a video about them.
Yeah.
He, the founder of Creator Clash, made a video about these other people who are creating drama. They, so I'm saying, like, this is like this thing
And
where
it's like, I'm not gonna tell Ian what to do. It's not
Yeah,
my place
yeah,
to be like,
sure.
Ian, maybe you shouldn't do that, because
Yeah, well,
the
yeah,
rest of us might kind of catch some strays from it.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
at the same time, it's like, it feels like Ian and I were friends walking down a sidewalk, and he gets stung by a wasp, and he's like, oh, and he looks up and there's a wasp nest there. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a wasp nest. And he pulls out a bat, and he runs up and hits that wasp nest and comes back. He's like, ha, I showed that wasp nest. And I'm like, uh-oh. And all the wasps come flying out, and they start stinging us. Both of us. Mostly him, because he was but I'm like I'm getting stung. I'm like, what the heck? I didn't come on this walk to get stung by wasps. Why'd you go hit the wasp nest?
Yeah.
And and he's like, all right, the only thing to do here to protect you is to run away. And so he runs away, and I'm like, I'm just, okay.
And he left you hanging.
Okay,
And
I guess
thi-
they're following him, but I'm still kind of.
It sounds like you just outlined a reason why you shouldn't be friends with this person
Yes.
anymore. Because he is your friend, and you walked down the street with your friend who got you into that situation. Yeah, he's a bad friend. Just maybe don't be around this guy.
Yeah. I'm getting stung here. Not really what I signed up for.
The content cops have this patronizing language of take accountability and be an adult, yet Ian's the one who needs to grow up. You're dressed like a skinhead, missing a tooth, and hanging out with the most deplorable and dishonest people online. Just in my last video, Denims was lying about being a victim of Destiny to try and get some free clout. When all the recording showed was her admitting to staying in Destiny's apartment and having sex with a dude for 2 days without Destiny's permission or knowledge.
I don't know how you feel 100% because you don't talk about any of this stuff, which is fine. So like, if you're like in an awkward situation, right? I'm trying to be a good guy and give you a way out. Like, hey, well, my apartment is open if you want to go in. So that gives you the ability to either say like, oh no, it's okay, I'll go with, or okay, thanks for offering, I'll go to your apartment. That wasn't like bring into my apartment for him to have free reign in here for a day.
Yeah, he was giving her access to his apartment when she was going to meet up with some guy she never met up with in person, and she didn't know it was crazy, but she didn't live there, so she didn't have anywhere to go. And he's like, okay, well, if shit goes south, you can come here. You're not stuck with this guy, and you're not stuck out in the cold waiting for me to get back home. So you can just come back to my place if you need to bail.
Yeah.
Instead, she brought the guy back to Destiny's place to give him free reign over his apartment while she gets brains out for 2 days. Because Destiny was gone for the weekend.
Yeah,
and she didn't want to be left. She didn't want to be in a position where she's the only place I have to stay this weekend is this guy I've never met, but you're leaving town. And he's like, well, if you really need to go somewhere, you can go to my apartment. You're not stuck with that guy. Destiny comes back to find them in bed together. And this guy's had like full access to Destiny's house for unsupervised for 2 days, complete stranger. And I'm sorry, he should have lost his shit. Because I heard this call. Destiny should have lost his shit. He's so fucking soy. Because I would have flipped my fucking lid, dude. But instead, this is how Destiny reacted.
Holy shit. That is so fucking weird. Why? Why would you put me in this weird spot where I have to come home and see an incredibly creepy fucking guy that is such a weird position in my community that's been trying to get me to stop talking to my ex-girlfriend because he's trying so hard to f her, is now f***ing somebody else in my bed, dragging his hairy balls across my blankets. Okay? Oh my god. And so we leave for an hour. He's like, holy shit, that's weird. So we leave for an hour and come back and your ball's still there. Oh god.
Now I'm not.
He's saying it like he's joking about it.
but
Like it's okay.
yeah,
like,
no.
isn't that a funny thing that happened? Bitch, I'd be losing my shit on you. I would have a very different tone with this dude had access to my house unsupervised for 2 fucking days and you didn't ask me. Like, you didn't call to ask me if you can bring someone. What the fuck? Yeah, like, I would be losing my shit.
The invitation was for you.
Yeah,
if you
I
needed a
would
place
be
to
losing
stay,
my shit
'cause
on
you
her.
didn't want to stay with this rando.
I would be losing my shit on her.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. We are friends with Denim.
You're friends with someone who's trying to throw themselves in as a revenge porn victim for clout. And I don't even want to get into Frogan.
The best thing that you can do for me is to support Creator Clash. Buy a ticket, buy a pay-per-view ticket, an in-person ticket, or donate to the fundraiser. I just want to see this event do well.
The arena is still completely empty. There's entire sections of the floor seats that haven't sold anything. He had 9 million views in promotion for this event and it's failed horribly. None of these comments are actually talking about it. They aren't even talking about the content of the video. Everyone's just memeing. iDubbbz leaves out so much context. The complaints he has about Ethan aren't even significant to the audience. It's amazing. iDubbbz is so selfish he couldn't even remain the sole cuck. He decided to cuck his whole charity event. He's like, nah, I'm not participating. I prefer to just watch the whole fest burn down.
And in closing, I will reiterate so that, there's no ambiguity about it. Anissa and I are no longer involved in Creator Clash. We're stepping down completely. We hope that the event is a massive success this year. We hope that all of the fighters get what they wanted out of it.
They won't now. Moral of the story, you can cuck yourself. You might even be able to cuck your wife. But if you cuck a charity event full of people who've been preparing for it over the last year, just a couple of months before it goes live, you can call that empathy. But I might call you an asshole. I have a lot more to say about Hassan, Frogan, and Nisa, and the serial docs are known as Bad Empanada. Hassan's lying, acting like he's on the verge of being deported because he's a liberal, when in reality it was a standard randomized check that lasted like 50 minutes. We can't let him get away with that. So subscribe to the channel, and thank you Aura for sponsoring this video. And shout out to the homies over on
Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, I won't even get into how Hassan lied about being detained Like people on the internet figured it out because
Yeah.
he claimed his plane landed at this and that he was detained for 2 hours. And he's so important that they had to detain him to ask him about his stream.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, they're asking about his stream.
They're
What do you
not-
stream about? What
no,
do you do?
they're
Yeah,
not
like we know who
interested in
you
that
are, kind of
ass.
deal. And then people did the math and started like looking at it. They figured out which plane he was on because
Yeah.
there was only one plane that was a direct flight to where he was going around that time. So it was easy to figure out which plane you're on. So now they know exactly the time the plane landed. And you can look at his tweets about it to see exactly the time that he said that he was detained for 2 hours. And it was like 30 minutes between the two.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, so you just lied.
So, yeah.
So you just fucking lied.
Oh,
Got
so
it.
He's one of those people who I have to be the center of attention. So let me, fib about some stuff.
Yeah, because attention's money for him, though. Like,
Yeah.
at least he's got a good reason for it. Most people just want to be the center of attention or get nothing out of it
Yeah.
other than the attention, which is sad.
Which
but
is sad, yeah.
he has to do stuff to keep his name in the headlines or to keep himself being talked about constantly. He needs people talking about him constantly so that he constantly has something to talk about, which constantly brings new people to his stream because people want to follow the drama.
That's fucking sad.
I will watch clips of him, but I'm never going to go watch his stream. Like, I'm never going
Yeah.
to give him the viewership. It doesn't matter if I want to keep up with the drama or not.
Yeah, it's fucking sad.
Yeah, they're all
Yeah.
clout chasing, and none of these people actually care about it. I don't even believe any of these people actually care about each other. I don't believe most of them even like each other. I don't think Hassan likes Rogan. I don't think Hassan
they
likes
do,
Mike from PA. I don't. He definitely doesn't with the way he treats him. I don't think he likes Sean DeBlack. Maybe he likes Denims because he wants to bang her, or maybe they are banging. But that's the only one that I'll believe he might actually like.
Sean
The rest
Black,
of them,
Black.
yeah, it's the black guy who's on their team and doing that.
How much is your soul worth?
Yeah, he's their Uncle Tom. He's their
Yeah.
token. Yeah, I don't believe he actually likes iDubbbz. I don't believe he actually likes any of these people. I don't believe Frogan likes iDubbbz. I don't believe most of them even like each other.
Yeah.
But as long as they keep following Daddy Hassan, they all keep making money. It's a, if you don't want to call it a cult, it's a worker-co-worker situation. Most of
Yeah.
us don't like our coworkers, but we all do the same job. We all go there to work together because we all want to get paid, and we all do what the boss says. He's the boss. They all work for him. They all do what he says, follow his talking points and his marching orders, and they all continue to make money as long as they continue to do that. There you go.
Once again, how much is your soul worth?
Oh God, it's so blatantly obvious. It drives me insane to see people defending it because it's just if you want to talk about the politics, just go talk about the politics.
Yeah.
Stop making everything about politics. This has nothing to do with politics.
Like that shouldn't.
CPS getting called on him,
Yeah.
nothing to do with politics.
Like-
him getting mad about a human skull sent to his house, nothing to do with politics. It shouldn't have anything to do with politics. Politics is the reason it happened. You guys use politics to justify attacking creators you don't like. I'm sorry, I thought the cause was on the other side of an ocean. I thought that was the cause. I
Not
thought
some
that's what
dude's
you guys are
kids.
supposed to be doing. Yeah. So if you're really worried about Israel Palestine, then you should be doing things to fight for Israel and Palestine. You should be talking to streamers. You shouldn't be talking about streamers. You should be calling CPS or chanting to call CPS. You shouldn't be involved with streamers at all. If you're really worried about Israel and Palestine, you should be spending your time protesting and trying to talk to government officials and people that might actually be able to do something over there. This isn't protesting. This isn't helping cause for either side. I don't
No.
give a fuck about this conflict, and I'll admit it. The difference between me and you is I'll admit that I don't give a fuck about that shit. You guys are pretending you care while just using it as an excuse to fuel internet drama. You're just like me. You like internet drama. I like internet drama. The difference between you and me is I don't need to have an excuse to like it. I'll just admit that I like it for no fucking reason.
Well, and let's not forget those who, pretend to care about things to get attention. Because
they want to feel like good people.
I'm on the side of
They want to,
good.
they want to be part of something. The right side of history, people. I don't give a fuck about history. Okay, I'm just watching internet drama like it's a reality show. This is fun for me to do. This is a fun little hobby for me. You guys are trying to make it a cause. The cause is with the government. Go protest. Go actually be part of the cause. This is internet drama. Internet drama is not a cause. Stop trying to justify internet drama. Just enjoy the drama.
I
If
do
you enjoy drama.
history, but I will say.
No, history isn't stuff that's already happened.
know.
Not being on the right side of it now.
I know.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that sort of history. But I will say, you're not on the right side of anything.
They're not on the right side of the drama. I don't care about the
calling
politics.
CPS for no reason. Like, and acting like it's not a big deal.
You have to be a shitty person to be on the right side of history. This is the price of admission to. This is how we spark change. Sometimes we got to do bad things to get good results. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, like just the mental gymnastics they'll do to justify their actions. When really, if you cared about the conflict, you'd be protesting and doing things about the conflict.
Exactly.
You wouldn't be obsessing over fucking drama streamers because Ethan's podcast is a drama podcast.
Yeah.
It is not politics. And as much as you like to pretend what Hassan is doing is politics, there's no actual Activision. Activision. That's a video game company. Sorry, I'm a video game streamer. There is no activism happening on Hassan's stream. He's made that very clear. This is all just to fuel his ego and his wallet.
And I'm sorry, but Ethan's wife is from a country where you have to do mandatory military service. Most of you...
They know what the word mandatory means. They don't care.
Pampered fat asses have no idea of what that would be like. You're not from countries that have to
but they
do
know
that.
But they know what the word mandatory means.
Which means you don't get a choice.
They don't have to know what the experience would be like. It's anything to attack the other side because they're not actually interested in the politics.
Yeah.
They're interested in the drama. You're just a bunch of mean girls.
Yeah.
The difference between you and me, again, is I enjoy the drama from a distance. You're the mean girls getting involved in it and talking shit at the lunch table and, like, fucking with people. I like to just watch. I'm never going to talk to Ethan or go to any of his live streams. I'm not part of his chat. And I'm never going to do the same with Hassan. I watch this shit from a distance. I have a strict don't touch the poo rule. I will watch it and point at it and laugh, but I'm not getting involved. Fuck me. With this is an H3 fan. It's like, no, I'm not one of his fans. I'm not in his chat. I don't actively watch his stuff. I watch clips from both. And
I don't watch any of it.
I watched an episode of his podcast if I'm watching clips of it and I want the full context. I don't watch it like he had a podcast day about James Carls or something. Like, it shows him in my feed now. And yes, it sounds like the title to a drama video. It's a drama podcast. He's like, James Carls is cooked and blah blah. Yeah, like James Charles has nothing to do with politics. This is clearly just drama stuff. I didn't watch that podcast. I have no interest in James Charles or that drama. I am just here for the drama. And as soon as this is over, I'll move on to the next thing. And Ethan and iDubbbz and both will be in my rearview mirror. Just like all the dramas that came before with Dr. Disrespect and Nick Merckx, the Carl Jobs thing. Like, I just jump from one to the other because I'm here for the drama and I can admit it. You guys have to feel like you're part of something.
I don't know who most of those people are that you just named out. I'm here, I guess, for the normal person's take.
Yeah,
and
she's my normie take.
Normal person over here says you're a piece of shit if you call CPS on someone without it being real. You don't just get to call CPS just because you think or you heard or... No, you kind of have to have reason because it's serious
No,
shit.
it's CPS, not the cops.
Really?
Yeah, they hide behind that.
Are we that simple?
They hide behind that.
Are we that simple?
They hide behind that because it's illegal to file a false police report. It's not illegal to file a false CPS report.
Should be.
So that's why they make that distinction because they don't want to get in trouble. They know they're wrong and they don't want to get in trouble. That's why they make that distinction.
Like...
It should be. I agree.
You know what? You're right. I do watch a lot of true crime. And one thing I've noticed watching true crime is that people who don't have fully developed brains, like teenagers, they do shit and they don't think about the long-term consequences. They just do. I want to kill my mom. I just did it.
Everything is reactionary.
Yeah, everything's reactionary. And I don't know how old these people are, but that's how they're acting. Like, there is no correlation
the creators
between
I've seen,
brain.
The creators I've seen, like the girl we watched, I'm guessing
And action.
she's late 20s-ish.
then she is
They're-
so immature.
Most of them are probably college level people or older people without children.
did
like
not
her.
mature.
Most of them in the audience are probably college students, and that's when
So a lot
that's
of
when
them
this activism stuff comes out. Is this has always been a college thing, dating all the way back to the fucking 60s. Like, it's college students just get involved in a cause because they want to be part of something, and
Yeah,
then it's a
but
phase and you grow out of it.
It's also a time when you do start thinking more about, like I said, I don't know.
I want to make a
guess I
difference
wasn't-
in the world. Yeah, you're full of hope and you're full of all this drive and stuff, and you don't know what to do with it, so you latch on to something.
I wasn't
and then
a
as you get
regular
older,
teenager.
as you get older and find your purpose in life, then you realize I was wasting my time on that. I
Mhm.
wasn't actually doing anything that could change anything.
Yeah.
Some people do actually become part of that change and end up working in government and stuff, but the majority of those kids in college who
Because that's
go-
how you do that.
yeah,
honestly.
because the majority of those kids in college who are trying to make a difference and trying to be on the right side of history, people like the kids back in the day would protest the Vietnam War, protest the Gulf War, like this always happens in college, and then you check in on those adults, fucking 30 years later, and they're not.
Speaking of
they're not
college,
invested in that shit anymore.
I took a philosophy class, hated it, couldn't stand it. So, but there was one philosopher who was like, basically, I think it was something of, you doing good deeds doesn't matter because the reason that you're doing them. Like, you're doing them for, that clout, basically. And that's these
Basically,
people.
if you're not doing a good thing for a good reason, then it doesn't matter, because that means that you'll also do bad things and claim that they're for good reasons.
For good reasons,
yeah,
exactly.
like you. If you're not doing it for a good reason, then
For the
you'll do
right reasons.
then you'll do anything for the same reasons, good
Yeah.
or bad.
But
You're doing shit for selfish reasons.
yeah, but college is also that time where you do gain those skills of, oh shit, this action leads to this down the road. These people seem like they're on the struggle bus when it comes to maturity.
They'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah,
right
one
now,
day they'll figure
right
it out.
now, they get that feedback loop from the streamer, like Hassan, that makes them think that the thing that they're doing is good, and that's why they give him money, and that's why they support. They feel like they're part of something, and they get to see the results in real time on his stream as they see the drama unfold. It's just drama. They're not really there for the politics because they can protest and protest and protest. They want the feedback loop. They want to feel like what they're doing matters. And that's why they latch on to something. College students always do that. The problem with protest is you can protest and protest and protest. And even when a protest works, you don't get that feedback loop of seeing it happen. It takes years upon years upon years for that feedback loop to happen. Where
Change may not even really be able to be seen in your lifetime.
yeah, so you don't get to even feel like you're part of it because you don't know if it's working or not. And they aren't really. If you're really invested in the cause, then you won't care how long it takes. You just want the good thing to happen. If you're not invested in the cause, then you need the feedback loop. And if protest means that you got to wait 20, 30 years before you see a result and things actually change, well, that doesn't feel worth it to you. You want to feel good about the thing you did now.
I
But
want
you
that
can get
instant
involved in
gratification.
but you can get involved in this, and you can see that
I could get online.
that you can see that CPS was called.
Yeah.
That whichever one of them called it, which it was one of them in his audience. We don't know the individual, but we know what audience it came from.
Yeah.
So that member of that audience can call, and the rest of the audience can go, we did a good thing. Look, we made change. We might actually be able to save his children. Yeah, and you get to see that instantly.
Every single one of you, when you have children, if you are not complete sociopaths, will feel like shit.
Eventually, it'll take a while.
Eventually,
Once they have children, then they'll realize what they've done. But right now, we wanted to see change happen, and A call was made, and
No
now we get
consequences were thought about.
and now we get to see the results happen in real time because the call was made, and then he made a stream about the call, and you go, "Hey, look, it worked! See, they're sweating now. We're making change." Yeah, they want the instant
Like-
feedback loop.
Just one adult in the room, one person to go, hey, wait.
That's why I say that they're college kids and not like actual like like high school teenagers or something. I'm sure there's some of that, but the adult in the room isn't there. These are like the girl we watched. She lives on her own. There's no adult in the room.
When I say adult in the room, I don't mean in the, I'm just saying
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one person who
But they
has
don't have
a
that person.
mind.
Yeah, but they don't have that person. They get to sit at home alone online all day in their echo chamber. They don't get that. They don't get that voice of reason. Where if they're living at home with parents, they got to log off their computer eventually and go talk to their parents, and then interact with normal people who might think that they were crazy if they brought it up.
Yeah.
But when you're home alone, you're an adult, and this is what you spend your days doing. Yeah. It's sad, but I'm sure you guys will leave all your hate comments. Go ahead, just leave them down below. Tell me how I'm actually wrong. Don't just tell me I have a bad take. Don't just tell me, oh, this is what an H3 fan is. Oh, this is no. Actually tell me if I'm wrong about something. Actually point out something something that's wrong. Have an actual argument. Don't just give me feels and vibes and tell me that I have an L take or whatever little bullshit that you guys are going to type, which I know you're not going to do. None of you ever do that. I had a debate with one of you who claimed that they could, and then they didn't bring nothing. None of you guys ever bring anything. There are no clips because Ethan supports genocide. Okay, where's the clip of that happening?
Right.
Show me where he said he supports it. Show me where that happened. Show the proof of that. And no one ever does because it doesn't exist. Oh, you look mean.
You look mean. Oh, his horns are getting stuck. I think you're good.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Oh,
Anyway.
Nope.
Anyway, want to thank you guys for watching this one. If you're new to the stream, we do this roughly every night at around 11 p.m. But follow me on Twitter to see exactly when I go live. Be sure to sub to the channel. I promise it's not all Hassan, Ethan, iDubbbz. I'm trying to mix it up. That's the main topic because that's the drama unfolding right now. It's the biggest drama on the internet. But eventually this will blow over and we'll move over to other stuff. I am sprinkling some other stuff in there. I got a tech drama coming for you guys. Be sure to check that one out. I promise you that it's not some boring tech drama between tech creators. This one takes a wild turn.
I was gonna say this.
I know tech stuff is what I'm interested in because I have a degree in that and I work in the tech field, so I get into that nerdy shit. But this isn't just a nerdy argument. Usually, I don't cover this kind of stuff during my drama streams.
Do I get to see two nerds fight and
yes, but
yell about equations?
Well, they're doing it
physics?
they're doing it over email and stuff. So it's one guy responding to the other one by reading his stuff. But yeah, it starts out with nerdy stuff, but it doesn't stay nerdy. I promise it goes off the rails in a most spectacular fashion. Normally, I just consume this stuff in my free time, and I'm like, I don't want to make content out of that because I get it. For normal people, it's boring. It's autistic fucking tech shit with numbers and stuff. But this guy, I love the energy of the guy making the video, though. He reminds me of my last boss, but without the gambling addiction. He's a just tell it like it is and fuck you kind of guy. He's not hiding behind virtue signals and words. You guys should watch that one. If you're leaving your hate comments about my Ethan stuff now, watch that one when it comes out and know that that's the kind of person you should be, not this fake shit that you guys are doing. Because there's nothing fake about this dude. He sounds like a guy who's just had enough of this guy's bullshit, and he just goes off. And I'm like, that sounds like some shit I would do.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. Yeah. Anyway, that one will be up tomorrow. In fact, it'll probably be up by the time this one comes out because I'll put it out before this one. For now, though, thanks for watching this. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.